live.
Oh shit, this is it.
This is it. Welcome.
I was waiting for the monitor.
Oh, already? Oh, okay.
Yeah, no. I mean, you could continue talking about the extermination of Jews, whatever. I don't care.
Well, when you put it like that, and people don't know the context,
really
they're gonna think badly about.
Right.
We'll get into that conversation afterwards.
Yeah. I mean, off air probably be the best.
Man, just straight into it.
Yeah, that's how we do it. Fuck it.
Rip off the Band-Aid.
Yeah, dude. Let's have a cheers, dude. Welcome to
cheers.
the
Thank you.
Morning
Cheers.
Drinkers podcast, because I've
having
been
me.
trying to get you on here for quite some time now.
Is there a marker?
Yeah, there's a marker. So the tradition is, which you already heard, is each guest signs the sign.
Oh, so right now we're doing this right now.
I mean, yeah.
Oh, we can do it later.
Before it falls.
I like doing it on.
Okay.
Do it now.
Yeah. Get on there.
Just anywhere?
Anywhere.
Am I dropping shit? Was that?
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's a faulty screw.
Put a book of matches for you to sit on.
Wherever you want to sign. I don't care.
All right. I see you. I see you. I'm gonna sign right here. How about that? Sign right here.
That's nice. It's a good place. Solid placement.
There we go. So look at that.
Who the hell's Adam?
Just let me have it. It's an alias thing, dude.
Antonio.
Yeah.
Coño.
Should have signed coño, really.
Yeah, you should. You know what?
In
Once you get a little bit,
quotations,
yeah, you're gonna put Coño in there. Can you tell who's been on? Because you've never even seen this podcast before.
No.
Yeah.
But obviously, Diego's there. Omar's there.
Yeah.
I don't recognize the other signature, but that's clearly a woman.
Oh.
I'm just kidding.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, yeah, sure, I guess.
I mean,
Sometimes.
Right. Well, I guess I shouldn't make that assumption, but that's Nick Costa, right?
Yep. Also the woman.
Right. I don't know who that top signature is, though. That's a pretty nice signature. That's you?
What the fuck just happened?
Just broke all the screws. That's why I used the other stools. These stools are a little defective.
Right.
Don't worry about it.
We'll fix it
Unless
later.
it flies off, you're okay. You'll be all right.
Both screws on the floor.
Well, there's 4, so there's 2 there.
Right.
Once you start seeing 3,
Then you're in trouble.
then we have an issue here.
I see which one's
Yeah. Don't worry. Don't worry.
For now, I'm gonna swap.
Yeah. Do whatever. It's not a big deal. Yeah, man. So yeah, Nick's been on here, and Jesse. Omar's been on a couple times. And yeah, that's pretty much like I said, I wanted to get you on here because I don't think you even knew, but when the pandemic happened, I hit you up first.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I hit him up first to do a podcast. And we're like, let's do a Zoom podcast.
I remember you talking about it.
Yeah, this was very early on where no one was seeing anyone.
Mm-hmm.
Where I was
Where everyone was afraid still.
super afraid.
Mm-hmm.
I had just come back from South Africa, and I was in my bed when we did it because we did like a Zoom. Yeah, and I was like, yeah, you guys could be on. I'm just gonna record the Zoom call.
I remember this, yeah.
And then him and I just did like an hour like chit chat, and then I never posted it.
Right.
I never posted it.
Well, dude, the crazy thing is that like it feels like 10 years in 1 year is what they say, right? But like I even moved away during the pandemic. And we might get to that later, but I moved away and I came back. But while I was away, I was talking to this guy on the phone and he goes, yeah, man, at the beginning of the pandemic, you remember when I was in South Africa? And I was like, what the fuck?
Right.
Like you want to? I remember you going to South Africa, but
been that long.
It's been that long,
Yeah.
and this was maybe the conversation took place in September of 2020, which already up until that point it felt like so much had happened.
Dude, so much has happened, really,
Yeah.
to be honest.
I mean, think about it.
Right.
First of all, we didn't know if we were gonna get Brian back. He was stuck
'cause I was
there.
I was
He
stranded there.
Stuck.
I was stranded there.
I remember like
I was like stranded for like a day and a half. It wasn't
still though,
yeah,
but
it
it's
was-
still
yeah.
pretty scary because everything was happening on the background.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, where like places were shutting down, airports were closing, and then we get text from Brian like, they're not letting me on this plane. They're like, what's happening?
Yeah, dude. The shit. That
must have been scary though.
It was definitely scary because on safari I had already developed a cough, and lungs were tight. Was having not consistent fever, but a fever here and there where it could have just been anxiety induced because I was like, what's going on? But just overall, like I didn't feel right. I felt like I had something. Because when I did come back for like 2 weeks, I was extremely fatigued. Like jet lag shouldn't be that long. I was extremely fatigued, and the cough persisted for basically a month. The lung tightness for like 2 weeks, and And then the cough itself, like for like an extra 3 months consistently. Yeah. And still, I mean, Oliver mentioned it the other day where he was like, you've always kind of had like the smoker's cough where I'm always like, I'm always clearing my throat. But it was kind of excessive.
Right.
Where I was,
for you.
Yeah, where I was coughing. I was like, man, this is crazy. Like a long bout of that. But being stranded there, what happened was my flight got canceled the day before, and everybody's flight's getting canceled around the world. Yeah. So I'm trying to contact my travel insurance to be like, hey, can you get me on something?
Get me out of here.
Yeah, get me out of here because I'm in a third world country. Yeah. I don't know what kind of healthcare I'm going to receive at all, you know. And my girlfriend at the time, she had a different flight, and hers wasn't canceled. So I'm there by myself. And then I'm also there in the hotel where everything's completely locked down. South Africa took it like to extreme where every place was closed at 6 p.m. They stopped selling alcohol at 1 p.m. And even the hotel I was at, you could only order room service. Like you had to stay in your room. So I was just like hold up in the room like, all right, what am I going to do? And so I watched like all of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air because on their Netflix over there, they had Fresh Prince.
I was going to ask, like, was it one of those like hotel TVs that had like the N64 controller?
No, it was actually a really, really nice hotel. Like it could have been way worse. I was like in a very, very nice hotel.
How's the exchange rate?
Dude. So comparable to Mexico. Mm-hmm. However, I think it's better because they give you portions that are ungodly. Where you can't eat it all. Like they're giving you.
We're talking about cocaine, right?
Yeah, exactly.
The portions. Okay.
Yeah. And actually, they have Quaaludes still. There's a guy out there. Yeah, Omar told me about this, and he was straight up like, "We're derailing, but don't worry." Yeah. He straight up was all, "Dude, get Quaaludes." They stopped making those in the late 70s, early 80s, and he's like, "There's a guy out there."
There's a guy.
He's
right.
I know a guy.
And he shows me. It's like a Hulu doc, and he's like, "There's a guy out there that basically figured out the formula or had the formula from back then, and still produces Quaaludes."
Wow.
And he's showing me this Hulu doc where people are just like fucking passed out everywhere after fucking doing some ludes. They're fucking smoking these things too. So
are other drugs really, really like?
I mean, weed's still illegal. Like it's
in South Africa.
Yeah,
I know they have a huge methamphetamine problem.
I was gonna say because like in Indonesia they have their drug laws are very, very strict and they're punishable by death. So,
I don't know if it's punishable by death over there, but
no, what I was trying to get at is that like because it's like, for example, weed like it has an odor and like people smell it. Everyone does LSD out there.
Oh shit.
Oh well, that's drastically different.
Yeah,
I just cursed. You might want to write that down.
Shut the fuck up, dude. You don't want to curse on camera? Shut the fuck up.
I thought you said you had to censor it.
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Oh, okay.
No. I said we will censor if you want to be censored. So if you want to be censored.
No. That's like my worst nightmare.
Yeah. Oh. We're 8 minutes in.
Jeez.
Yeah. But back to the exchange rate and portion size and like terms of food, like you're gonna eat the whole wildebeest. They'll fucking give you the whole thing.
Wildebeest.
Straight up. It was insane. I was. You could live like I mean, you were living like a god in Indonesia. I was living
like a fucking god.
He was a billionaire when he was in Indonesia. Yeah, that makes sense. Whereas the exchange rate, like I said, is comparable to Mexico, but I think you get more bang for your buck when you're in South Africa.
What's the food in South Africa?
African.
It's just meat and potatoes.
Dude, it's not really potatoes. It is just a lot.
But it's some
of
sort
meat.
of starch.
It's a lot of meat.
It's just meat.
Like majority
basically
is
keto. They're keto out there.
Yeah, for the most part. They straight up like. I remember when I was out there. My girlfriend at the time, she's just like, I just want a vegetable. They're like, fuck veggies. You want fish? You're a pussy, but we have fish. They have great fish, but they'll give you all the big game out there. You want chicken? Like you get chicken here.
Like a bitch.
You get chicken anywhere.
Yeah.
But you want a fucking giraffe? They'll give you all that shit.
They're partial to giraffes.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. I had so much ostrich while I was out there.
Oh wow.
It was. I mean, you get ostrich here too because I think
I've had ostrich. Yeah.
But like, It's just common out there. And I had wildebeest, like legit did have wildebeest.
Luckily, no animals are harmed in the making of your meal out there.
Well,
What? I think they're slaughtering them left and right.
humanely.
Because they have.
humanely
They have.
slaughtered.
I'm just saying they're not harmed. You know,
They
what I'm
have.
saying?
No, but I don't know if it's South Africa, but they have.
It's all of Africa. They kill everything.
What is it called? Tourist safari, where they can go out hunting big game.
Yeah. Poacher shit.
Poachers, yeah, like.
They actually, a lot of Americans get in trouble. They don't get in trouble. They get hated on when they come back here because they're like, "You killed that big beautiful elephant." You're like, "Well, yeah,
I did it over there.
Yeah, but that big beautiful elephant just fed that whole village.
Yeah,
and I kept the tusks. Yeah,
I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's not going to waste. It's not going to waste.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people think. I mean, I'm not gonna get too political.
Right.
I'm just gonna say they're not just like killing it to kill it.
right.
They're feeding people with that shit.
I mean, they might be, but there's benefits.
Usually, if it's like a lion, yeah, because you don't really want to eat that meat. But you can eat elephant, technically. You could eat, like I said, camel.
What's wrong with lion meat?
Usually you don't eat predators.
Oh, okay.
You know?
Right. That makes sense.
Yeah. For the most part.
Camels. Camel milk is supposed to be really good for you. Camels make sense.
I've never heard.
Camel milk is supposed to be like better for you than I don't want to say like every other milk out there, but definitely cow milk. And they have camels here.
But see, the thing is with cow milk, I feel like it's bad for you because of all the shit we do to it, all the hormones we inject in the cows, and then
what you get in the carton isn't milk, or like it's not from like the teat of the cow.
Right.
It's like water and flavorings.
Right.
Yeah. Like my
pus flavorings.
Yeah. Have you ever tried like
sucking
milk,
on a cow's
just milk
tit?
straight
from the it tastes different. It's like almost gamey. Like
really?
My dad in the summer used to go down to the dairy farm, and so he would work on a dairy farm. So he's had it. My mom back in Mexico used to have to like go. They wanted milk, they would have to go from the cow.
I would try that.
I would try it. Yeah.
Take your chances.
I mean, it's warm.
just water it down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would try goat milk too.
Yeah.
Because I like goat cheese.
Goat cheese is good.
I was gonna say I saw like one of those
These are good, by the way.
Yeah, I told you.
Yeah.
I
Which one you got? The pineapple?
Yeah.
I saw one of those like top, like most expensive food items in the world, and donkey cheese is one of them.
Donkey cheese.
Donkey cheese is apparently very expensive.
That sounds so bad. I'm gonna look up donkey cheese right now because that sounds gross, dude. That sounds really nasty.
You're the Jamie and the Joe.
I'm Jamie and Joe right
Jamie
here.
and Joe.
That's what it looks like? Pule cheese.
Pule cheese.
I was gonna say pule.
Here, say that. Margresi?
No,
Margresi.
That's not French.
It's Balkan. So, Margaretti?
Balkan donkey milk and 40% goat's milk.
Wow. I mean, I'd try it.
Source of milk, donkeys and goats.
Why is donkey cheese so expensive? Because of its rarity, there are only about 100. What are jennies?
Male or female donkeys, male donkeys, one of those.
Well, I mean, those are the only two options, dude.
I thought Jennies were just Puerto Ricans from New York, from the block.
Oh, yeah, that's nice.
Too soon?
No, that's great.
We were talking about Puerto Rican showers the last episode.
And Chicano washes.
Chicano washes, yeah.
Do you not know of any of those terms?
No.
Well, you can watch that podcast, but we'll give you the lowdown here. Come on.
Chicano washes where you use a windshield wiper at a gas station to clean your entire car.
Which is fucker probably's done too. Everybody's guilty of that shit.
and the Puerto Rican showers where you just kind of like make yourself look presentable and put Axe body spray.
Axe body spray. Racism.
Yeah, racism, yeah.
Man. Urban Dictionary. That's the source.
It's the best, dude. It's the best.
If you listen to the last episode, you'll understand why we talked about it.
That is true.
Dude, my grandpa from Brooklyn, New York.
Yeah.
My grandpa from Brooklyn, New York, Greek guy.
Yeah.
He would call a Greek shower just Jewish shower. You'd be washing your hands and just get up until here, and that was it, just up to your elbows.
If we're gonna get there, dude,
you already did.
I mean,
el baño ruso. Cara limpia, culo sucio. Clean face, dirty ass.
Right. But
the Russian bath.
okay.
That's what we used to say
but
back
that
in the
doesn't
day.
make sense because Russians have Russian bathhouses.
It's more about the rhyme, dude.
Just Mexicans making up shit.
It's more about the rhyme.
Yeah.
Rap is.
Would you go to a Russian bathhouse?
Yeah, hell yeah.
To get one of those banyas, I think is what it's called.
Yeah.
Where they like smack.
They smack you.
Yeah.
I would totally do that.
I think that's how it's pronounced, right?
I think so. Banya.
I mean, I saw recently who was it that did that? Bert Kreischer did that whole thing, and he had a Russian. Right there.
First of all, Bert Kreischer's little cabin show.
Right, you didn't like that?
I did. I'm selective on which episodes I like.
That's true.
The one with Bobby Lee was incredible.
That one was him and Donald
That's what I'm
Rollins.
talking about.
God damn it, dude.
That was so fucking good.
That one, I like the
was
first
so
one
good.
too.
With
The one with
Tom and Joey.
Yeah.
That one was really good too.
Oh, it's just with a Y. Okay, Banya.
Hey, what did you guys take away from
spelled
the
it in Portuguese.
episode with what's her face from Big Bang Theory, Miss Pat?
Oh, with
and Kaylee Cuoco.
Yeah, Cuoco.
Yeah, Cuoco.
It was okay. I love Miss Pat.
I was gonna say, I love Miss
but what
Pat.
did you take away from the interaction? Because, like, to me, Miss Pat was just busting her balls because, like, for example, like in Mexican culture, you like somebody, you bust their balls.
Right,
And I
right.
think Kaylee kind of took it personally, or was she acting?
No, check this out. This is the way I'm taking it. And this might be reading too much into it, but I don't think so.
Okay.
Because in this day and age, there are a lot of white people that have a lot of white guilt and so are being overly sensitive, and they don't want to be disrespectful in any way to anybody that is black, Asian,
And
whatever.
their interactions almost feel like not genuine.
Right. And so when Miss Pat is just being a comic and breaking her balls anyway.
Yeah, just laying it on.
Yeah. Kaylee she doesn't want to even sass back because it looks like a white person.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah, that
know
makes
what I
sense.
mean?
That's kind of what I.
Now
also
that's
figured
my
out.
takeaway from it is that
Yeah.
she's just like, oh no. Like I have to accept this because I'm white. I can't do anything back or else it looks like I'm racist. Yeah.
Wait.
Right?
I hate everything about this, dude. Like,
but that's how I'm looking at it. I'm like, yeah, whatever.
Okay, so it's called the banya.
Yeah.
They show the
Slavic
leaves.
steam bath. And there's that little plant. What is that plant?
it's a specific plant too, right? Or can you just grab any branch from a tree?
I don't know. Look at all these variations. You have ancient Rome, Finnish, Swedish, Turkish, sweat lodges in America. We could just go to a sweat lodge. Fuck it.
Yeah.
Let's go to the bathing
You
ritual.
can just go to Tecate right here and do one of those.
Oh, those.
Mezcal.
Yeah.
The mezcal?
Oh,
Oh,
it's
that-
one of those, you know, the huts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's very Native American.
Everyone has their version
Yeah,
of it,
everybody's
dude.
just sweating.
It's to get the impurities off
Yeah. I wonder how Eskimos do that.
in their igloos.
But wouldn't the ice just melt?
I think
Obviously
it's so
not.
cold that I don't even think so.
Don't they have like I've seen pictures on my textbooks from when I was a kid. It's like an igloo and they have a little fire pit in the middle.
Right. But I don't think it's going to get that hot in an igloo because the ice would just melt.
Maybe they do it underground, I'm sure.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying?
I wasn't
Underground
there,
is
yeah.
always 50 degrees or whatever it is. There's always like no matter where you are, if you dig deep enough, it's always 50,
In the sediment, it's
50 degrees.
I don't think there's any. Is there science to support that? I don't know that.
I'm
Just fucking.
Are we
that's
gonna
what
look
it
it up?
is.
Let's take his word. Let's take his word on it. Let's take his word
How
on
am I
it.
phrasing this question?
Right. Huh?
Yeah, how am I phrasing the question?
Do average
Average
soil temperature.
soil temp
I hate this.
by zip code.
By depth.
There you go.
These chips Can someone get these chips away from me?
Soil temperature. I just want a definitive answer. So 62 degrees in coastal tide water.
See, I had heard in Virginia the mean earth temperature ranges from 52 degrees.
Well, we could
Fahrenheit.
just look at these averages.
Oh, there you go. I mean, that's pretty drastic, actually, the changes. But
Yeah.
if you see what I mean, they're all moderate temperatures.
Right.
You don't
That's
have
cool.
any
Okay, so
freezing.
yeah, so then they just dig into the earth,
Earth, yeah.
light a fire, have some oxygen coming in there, then
I say you can't. You're gonna die.
Where's the warmest? So, but if it looks like it's off the coast, that's got to be the Keys, right? 77 down there by Florida.
well, absolutely.
77. So that's the warmest that we have here in America.
Yeah. Makes sense.
I've never
Makes
been
sense.
to the beach out there, but I've heard that you can walk like, obviously maybe an exaggeration, like close to a mile, and you'll still be like maybe chest deep.
Out in like Florida by the Keys,
yeah.
possibly. I don't know. I don't feel like looking that up.
Yeah, don't. I really don't want to.
Yeah, I don't really feel like looking that up. But these banyas.
Still very interesting.
Look at this gargoyle that they got going on here. Bathhouse spirit.
Bonic.
Oh, nice.
Hey, because of COVID and everything, are they still doing those like escape rooms that were very popular for like a couple months?
I don't think right now, but I'm kind of down to do one.
I was always curious. I was always curious.
Virtual escape rooms. That's
Yeah.
what
They're like, how do you get out of your house?
Wait,
those are called mazes, by the way.
yeah, I was gonna say. Oh my god,
Dude, this guy, he FaceTimes me earlier this week, and he got a,
yes, thank you for bringing it up.
yeah, actually because we're gonna ask if you're interested.
Okay.
It's like a whodunit, right?
Clue.
Oh, it's
Okay.
basically like,
Murder mystery dinner.
I think I've heard of this. Yeah.
Yeah. So he just bought this game.
And it's like set in the 80s, which I love.
Okay.
We all do. We all do, baby.
I mean, he's wearing the tracksuits. That makes sense.
For multiple reasons, we're not gonna get into that right now.
Well, he's Italian. Obviously.
Yeah.
Italian.
Yeah.
Italian.
Exactly. With an aloha hat. Yeah.
They call him the what is it? The bear? The bear? No, what is it from Inglourious Bastards?
Bear Jew.
The bear Jew.
Yeah.
Jewish person.
I just didn't want to say Jew. I just
keep going back to Jew.
Hey man, it's okay.
You've been bringing them up a lot today.
You're always on my mind. You know.
Anyway, this guy, he just bought it, and obviously we're looking for players. So he's like, all right, I have me and my girlfriend.
Her friend Patricia.
She's down. You already asked?
Yeah.
Perfect. And then he's like, do you think, and I said, maybe Diego. Diego's not really into that kind of stuff. I said, maybe Diego. And I was like, I think Tony might be down for something like that.
Yeah, I'm totally down for something like that.
Yeah. And then I said, well, then he would bring Brenna, you know?
Yeah.
So,
And it comes with like cue cards and like
That's cool.
background stories and
Yeah.
That's
everything.
dope. I like that.
yeah, see? Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
We're
go.
sold. We're sold.
Yeah,
we
dude.
got participants here.
Sick.
Oh yeah.
I'm excited, dude, because
Because he got a place. I don't know if
I bought a house.
Oh shit! Congrats, dude.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Where at?
Technically National City, but
Yeah.
in Bonita.
it's
Okay.
like right next to Plaza Bonita.
Yeah. No,
I could throw a
I kind of
rock at
figured
it.
it was in that area.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So coming up, not so hood. Anymore.
Yeah,
Anymore.
it's like the very border of it because if
Yeah.
I just cross the bridge and turn on Euclid, it gets real
It
dark.
gets bad real
It gets
quick.
interesting,
Yeah.
Dude, I
Colorful.
I get yelled weird shit at the so right before you turn to go onto Euclid, there's a 7-Eleven,
I love this.
Yeah.
and I always get shit yelled at me out there.
Like catcalled or like
Nah, like homeless people will be panhandling,
Okay,
and
yeah,
I'll be like, "I'm sorry, brother, like I ain't got no change," and he'd be like, "Man, you Bruno Mars looking motherfucker." And I was like, "All right, yeah, like thanks." Like,
Which, in all honesty, he looks like Anderson .Paak.
yeah, I could definitely see that.
Let me show you a photo here real quick on my phone. And
I look like Anderson's pack.
By the way, is it catcalled for men too or no?
I think it's called
It's dog. Dog howl.
go ahead and just make your.
Dude, that's nuts. That's nuts, man.
Anderson pack.
Oh my god.
I'll have to put that up
Yeah.
picture in picture.
Side by side.
Yeah, man. So yeah, we got you as a participant.
Okay,
Fuck
good.
yeah, excited.
Are we looking something up again right now, or are we
We were reading the Banyas and we lost track.
I said reading the Bible. We're reading the Bible.
We're fuck Banyas.
It's, I'm honestly thinking about my outfit for this dinner event.
Dude, yeah. So it's 80s themed.
It's 80s themed, yeah.
80s.
Well, I actually haven't even like broken the seal on the box. Like, I gotta like.
Yeah, because I want to know what time period is like. Is it early 80s, late 80s? Am I going Miami Vice? You know what I mean?
Like pastel suits
Dude, some Don Johnson.
or track suits.
You know what I mean? I'm rolling the sleeves,
Yeah.
bro.
Yeah.
Or, going like cocaine businessman.
Cuban links.
I'm gonna go straight LA, just Cortez. Cortez is with
Okay.
We'll see.
Chains.
I want to actually
Casual.
like review like the characters too and everything.
Yeah.
And because
Well, will we get a do you know if we get an opportunity to pick our characters?
That's
Or-
what I want to figure out. Because like I said, like I just was walking down Target and I grabbed it. It was with the cart.
That's a car. That's a car. Yeah.
The cart.
I got you. I got
The
you.
wagon, yeah. So I'm pushing the wagon and I just grabbed it. Like, oh.
The trolley.
Yeah.
And then,
Trolley.
and then it says like dinner, like murder mystery, and I just put it in the wagon. Like, I just
You saw murder, and you're like,
Yeah.
yeah, I'm about that.
I'm signing up. I'm subscribing.
He's been all
it ain't no
about,
mystery.
he's all about true crime shit. Yeah.
I was just telling Brian that like my morning started with me watching like Criminal Minds.
Oh my god.
I've never seen that.
Me neither. I don't.
Yeah.
Well, actually, maybe like in passing.
It was just one of
nowadays.
those like TV shows that was thrown into like our TV subscription that wasn't in Spanish.
And you needed something for your girlfriend.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
What? No, for me. Like, so I was like, fuck. Like, I want to watch something cognitive, I guess. And it was. I cried this morning. It was heartfelt.
It was crying.
Yeah,
I was really into it, dude.
You told me it was pretty intense again. I said, well, I had a different morning because I did some damage last night to my stomach.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Omar and I, we barbecued and we had some TJ style hot dogs.
Get some donkey meat.
About like 6 to 8 each. Loaded,
That's a violent amount for one person to ingest.
It was a lot of hot dogs.
Like, what? How much time did you give yourself in between each dog?
It was probably like 4 right out of the gate. And then I was like, you know what? It's time for a break. And let's watch the fights. And so we watched the fights, and then it was like, hey.
How do you eat 4? like, do you just like press it against your mouth and you just push it back? Like, you don't even chew.
Dude, they were so loaded too. I told them, and I was dressing it up a little differently each time. Like the first one was heavy on mayo on the bread and chipotle.
I like that, but I don't like the mayo part.
Yeah.
I love mayo.
Yeah.
Continue.
And then
Go slower though.
And a bacon wrapped hot dog. Put a bacon wrapped dog, crisp bacon, like it was crispy, burnt, like get the grill marks on it. It was nice. And then putting up some chopped tomato and onions on top of that bad boy.
Kind of lost me, but yeah,
lost you
a little bit.
What would you put?
I wouldn't put tomatoes on there.
Sauerkraut.
I mean, the sauerkraut is if you're going Polish style, and I wanted that.
I love sauerkraut.
But we went to a Mexican market, and they're not gonna have sauerkraut.
Pickled onions.
I put cueritos on there.
We had jalapenos.
That's
good.
Pork on pork on pork on pork on pork, dude.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, it's delicious though.
it's like you want some swine with your pork.
Right.
So the onion, tomato, and then I put some guacamole salsas.
Oh yeah, that's yep.
The guacamole salsa. You put a little bit, just on the dog.
I was gonna say this sounds pre-made, or was that house?
It was pre-made.
Yeah, okay.
It was pre-made. If it was house made, it'd be excellent.
Yeah.
It was
You saying you went to La Norge?
No, we didn't go to.
Okay.
You just assumed. We went to an even cheaper mom and pop, like little market.
Where?
Some third Ave shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, one of those mercados, those mercadoos.
Gotcha. Yeah.
I mean, he drove. I was like along for the ride. And then to top it off, did I already mention the cheese?
No.
So top it off with a little bit of cheese.
Okay, cheese.
Like Colby Jack.
Okay.
Oh no! Then the actual topping, and this was my job as a sous chef. Crushed up some Fritos. And then put the Fritos.
I was gonna say
top.
the crunch.
That sounds so stony, dude. Like,
That sounds
And that's
delicious.
just one dog. So imagine
Right.
like
4 of those.
four of those
Right.
right out of the gate. Dude.
Was it like the ballpark Franks?
They weren't.
Where like they plump, but they're like this big, or was it like the Hebrew Nationals?
It was more like ballparky. Yeah.
There you go again with the Jew shit.
What do you want to say, Nathan's?
Yes, or something. Yeah, man. It was really, really good. But Omar and I, like, we both knew, we're like,
We're gonna die.
yeah, these are definitely bad decisions, but we're like, fuck it, dude. Let's just get hammered.
You just gotta fucking do it.
Let's watch some fights. And they were good fights. Like, we liked it.
I'm not gonna lie, I don't even know who was fighting yesterday.
I mean, you're not really a fight fan.
No.
Yeah. I don't think anybody.
I don't hate it, but I'm just
Right.
not.
I don't think anybody, at least in our friend group, is as much of a MMA fight fan as him and I, as Omar.
I'm more of a boxing fan.
Yeah, like, and he likes boxing too. Like, you and him, that's your Venn diagram. You guys connect more on the boxing. I'll watch it, but to me, MMA is like, hell yeah, that's my shit. And Diego's just like, oh, you guys are getting together? You know?
Yeah, right.
Like, he'll watch some fights and he knows a fighter here and there, but it's more for the
It's more for the hang, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. I'll get into it if it's like on.
Dude, one of the podcasts we did a
Fight companion.
yeah, where we watched,
bro.
we watched, it was like 3 hours us watching the fights. Omar there, Oliver here, we're just shooting the shit. It was fun.
I miss going to see like a match, like because growing
Actual
up,
fight.
yeah. Well, not an actual fight per se, with what I'm about to bring up, but every Friday when I was a kid, like all the boys in my family, we would go to Auditorio Tijuana to watch the lucha libre matches, and that'd be fun, dude. Just yelling at people, throwing chairs onto the ring. No one gave a fuck, dude. Yeah.
Dude, that's just an experience.
Yeah.
Because like you're not gonna see, like you're just gonna see wild entertainment. It's not like a fight, like a boxing match or MMA.
It's like what Mom says about Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's not a show; it's an experience.
I mean, probably. I've never seen Earth, Wind, and Fire, but I would imagine it's definitely.
It blew her mind.
Yeah, I'm sure. Are they still touring?
This was back in the day,
I don't
dude.
think so, no.
No,
But
right?
yeah.
They're too old. Well, I mean,
Well, I think some.
Hey, I saw the Scatolites, dude.
I mean, yeah, I was gonna say
I've seen the Scatolites, too.
Stones.
I'm
still-
talking about recently.
Recently, you saw
Oh,
that?
like
2 months. No,
2 years ago.
Oh wow.
that is relatively. Were they at Winston's? Where were they at? Yeah, I think they went to Winston's. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know.
There was like 2 of them left, and he was like being held up on the wall by his sacks.
Get on the
Oh,
mic, bitch.
he's still that guy.
Say it into the mic, bitch.
I used to know all these guys'
I was
names.
chewing. I didn't
So,
want to say it. I'm like,
I saw them like maybe 2014 at the World Beat.
That makes sense
That
too.
was the last time, and I think there was like 2 or 3 of them that were.
I
still
bet you your
alive.
cousin was there.
probably.
Hecky,
Yeah.
maybe.
We need to get him on too.
Yeah, with Ed.
With Ed? Oh yes.
Where is Hecky? Anyways.
Rosarito.
Oh, he's over here now because he was living in Mexico City for a while now.
Yep.
Okay, that's a crazy city to just jump into.
We moved there from San Francisco. So
It's crazy. San
city,
Francisco.
big city to big city.
Yeah,
No, but Mexico City's it's way
Yeah,
crazy.
San Francisco's a big city, but it's not like that.
I mean, yeah,
Yeah,
I used to love San Francisco, and I still do. I mean, I like the idea of San Francisco, but it's just,
you gonna get political?
No, I'm not gonna get political.
do
No,
it,
no, no.
do it,
I'm
do
just
it,
saying
do
it's
it,
it's
I want to hear
it's not the same anymore.
Why?
your wildest San Francisco experience
Why?
Okay.
that you saw from the street.
Right, but after he'll
Okay,
I want him to
I'll
address
get-
that.
I'll get
but
you
I want to
first.
know
Okay.
why. Yeah.
I've just seen it change. So I've been going to San Francisco. I mean, obviously, like I'm not from there, but I've been going there since I was a little kid, maybe like 6. And every time I went back, it was always like the shop owners, like the mom and pop people, were just being pushed out.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
like as I got older, so I think the last time I was there was very recently, maybe like 3 months ago. It's just a shell of what it used to be, and it's totally just a millennial hub, but more so in the sense of like I'm here to work and live to work. You know what I mean? And the culture is completely gone.
Basically, like every big city in this country, though, to be honest.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
I mean, there's places, for example, like, I mean, we won't have to get into that too deeply, but like Austin, for example, is growing and
It's going to turn into that.
turning into that. I can
Super
for
quick.
sure see that. But
Because of this, even more. Because of the whole pandemic, even more.
yeah, I think so.
When's the last time you were in San Francisco?
Maybe like 3 months ago.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You know,
Yeah, like right
and
before
I
you
mean,
moved back, right?
So
Right
that's
before I
what I
moved
was
back.
gonna ask. Like, you've seen it like maskless and masked on.
for sure.
Yeah.
Definitely for sure.
I haven't seen a mask on. I've seen a maskless, though.
I was gonna say, like, I've only been to San Francisco once, and it was with my lady like 8 months ago, or not even like a year ago. Right. Yeah, a year ago before COVID happened.
Really.
Yeah. So hey,
When was that? Do you think? Like
I would
February,
imagine,
March?
actually, sorry to, I just saw this with that.
I was thinking that earlier. Yeah. That brought
rum and
pretty good.
tequila.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can
both.
mix.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why not?
And that was interesting. Like, I got to
Yeah.
see. I saw right getting in. Like, my lady and I are walking to our Airbnb, and we see a. I don't want to be mean, but like
Be mean. I want you to be mean right now.
a highly, well, we could only assume intoxicated, very overweight white woman, butt naked,
Oh,
Yeah.
running up and down the street. I don't know.
That's great cardio in the city of San
Exercising,
Francisco.
yeah.
The city of
Speaking-
San Francisco hills like that.
but
That's
like,
great
but
cardio.
like speaking in tongues.
Oh shit. Okay.
Oh well, she had the spirit then. It's not
Yeah,
even
dude,
cardio
that's
at this point. That's the spirit.
Yeah. So again, like, it may have been drug induced or religiously induced.
Were you
but
like in the heart? Were you like hating Ashbury? Or were you know what I mean?
No,
Like, this guy knows
no,
what
we
I'm
were
talking
like-
I could see that happening. I hate Ashburn.
about.
No, we weren't there.
Maybe
Okay.
not so much anymore.
To be honest, I don't even remember.
It's still pretty hippie.
Yeah, it is. Actually, I mean,
It is.
still pretty-
It
the
is.
the part of San Francisco that I really like is actually still Hayden-Ashbury. It still feels like if you're gonna get any sort of sense of culture from that city that was like reminiscent of what it used to be, Hayden-Ashbury, I think, still a little bit.
Amoeba was pretty cool.
Right, and it's
right there.
Right
It's on
there.
the corner.
Yeah, it's right there next to the McDonald's.
McDonald's.
McDonald's. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
It's a cool city.
I walked from Hayden Ashbury to
I got to see a lot of people.
Cortez area.
Man, you did that?
Yeah.
You walked that?
I'm a walker, bro.
Yeah, you are.
I'm a walker.
But I got to see a lot of people that were walking, stop in the middle of the street to take their Instagram photos, like on the hills or like
course,
in
yeah.
some sort of building. Like,
Absolutely. It's an iconic city.
yeah, but like to see it raw like that, you know, like
I saw these two. I don't know. They were young girls yesterday while Omar and I were barbecuing, doing their TikTok videos out in the front.
In the front of their house.
The front of their lawn, dude. I was just like, this is what everybody's doing. I mean, it's bold. Just the amount
You
of.
guys watched them complete the whole video?
No. I was just like, and I said, I was like, let's make them feel awkward where we're just like recording themselves.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like
that influencers in the wild
Yeah,
Instagram
exactly.
page. Yeah.
Oh, there's a subreddit called the same
Really?
thing. Oh my god, dude.
are you on Reddit?
No.
This guy.
Get on.
You'd be on Reddit.
Get on.
Bro, this guy loves Reddit so much. And I do too. Whenever he sends me shit, I'm all about it.
I honestly just don't really even know what it is. Like,
And
what is it?
I'm like, I kind of have a grasp on it.
It sounds like a forum. It's kind of what it sounds like to me.
Essentially, yeah. Omar just got it because he's like, I don't get it. Like, I don't know how to use this, you know? But
Communities, that's all it is.
yeah.
That's cool. I can dig that.
But one of the subreddits that we love is Abrupt Chaos.
God, dude.
You want to see the most like outrageous
Put it on right now. Let's go through.
dude. It is so
And it's
fucking-
abrupt.
Yeah. Abrupt Chaos. Did you close the bathroom door or no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Another one I like is Public Freakout. It's just chaos out in public.
I can see myself getting into that. I was telling my girlfriend last night, actually, I'm kind of done with social media, man. Like, for a while I've been done, but it's kind of getting to me.
Well, that means you might be just on too much. What's going on? Talk to
I might be on a little bit too
talk
much,
to me,
but
please.
I mean, I'm mainly talking about like from the standpoint of a musician. You know what I mean? It's like obviously
It's work.
it's work, and all that I follow are. If you go on my Instagram right now, you would see just musicians.
Show
you
us
know
your
what I mean?
feed. We did this last time with Jesse.
There's the other screw. It's okay.
Show us your feed.
Okay.
We did this last time.
We try to guess what's on each other's feed because it's based on what you like and follow.
Right. I keep hearing something.
It's the candle, dude.
No, it's not that. I hear like a leak or something.
No, it is.
No, trust me. I'm hearing something
Really?
else. I know that sound.
Oh.
I was hearing something over yonder. Okay, so we have
That's not what I expected.
Justin Bieber and his wife.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's basically all music stuff. This is the one that stood out to me the most. This is very Omar.
That is very Omar.
This see that sound.
Right.
You heard that?
It's a ghost, dude.
Okay.
Ghosts are like wind.
So explain why because I think I know. Because we kind of had a little bit of a discussion via text a few weeks back on a certain musician. Not a local one.
Oh yeah.
Not
yeah,
a local one.
Yeah. Okay.
But like moderately famous musician.
yeah, pretty famous. Yeah.
Yeah. That.
I was afraid you bring this up. Yeah.
Why are you afraid? We don't have to name names. We can.
We'll bleep them if anything.
Yeah. No, I mean whatever. Yeah. Well,
But
let's get into it.
is that what you're like annoyed by most?
No, not even. I mean that is.
Then elaborate. I'm gonna check this.
Yeah. Yeah. No, check it out. Should we just get into that?
Yeah, I mean, if you
Get
feel
in-
comfortable. Look, man, I'm not gonna make you do anything you're not comfortable with. all
No,
right?
no, I understand. It's just it's a big.
Here's the thing,
it's a big conversation.
I just want you to get off with
Dude,
me.
so I don't know if you noticed on the podcast that we showed you, just so you could get like a hint as to what this is. This is straight up like, we'll go forever.
Okay.
Where you're saying it's a big conversation, there's no time constraints here. I don't know if you're on a time constraint right
No,
now.
I'm-
I live here.
I'm
So-
saying. Right.
I'm gonna be
saying.
here.
I'm saying it's a big conversation in the sense that it's kind of like. I mean, it could.
Could fuck up your career in this town or what?
I mean. Okay.
career- my
fuck it.
career-
I mean,
my career's over.
Listen, you always got to take a position, right? And so, to make a long story short, I'll sum it up really quick. The conversation, okay, and then it's kind of interesting to have like your point of view too.
Exactly.
There is a Sir Nicholas Payton, okay, jazz.
Oh, you're saying okay. You're
yeah,
saying
yeah.
name.
Just well, I mean, it is what it is. People can look it up if they wanted to, you know.
Right.
A Sir Nicholas Payton, jazz musician, trumpeter, keyboard extraordinaire. He's a monster, right? From New Orleans, Louisiana. And it's not a new concept, but decades ago, he started a movement of canceling, to use a word that's relevant now, canceling the word jazz to define the genre of improvised music. He wants to use the phrase Black American music. Now, and you read stuff about this sort of thing, so I know that's why I'm saying let's get your perspective on it. But here's the thing. When you say Black American music, to me, as a person that identifies with two cultures, obviously like Mexican American, I mean, I grew up in both countries, like I lived. So I identify with those sort of cultures. When you put a label like that on something, to me, it feels very exclusionist almost. And you're kind of ignoring the fact that if you're from a place like New Orleans, you had Native American, indigenous peoples contributing to the music, not just Black people. The funny thing is that when you use the word Black in those times was used to define Native peoples too, because they didn't really, the colonizers didn't distinguish between Black and
they didn't have
Indian.
that many dots in the form to fill out.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Black, white.
They just saw you as colored.
So my whole thing is, I don't want to take away from the whole, Black American music movement. I don't want to take away from their culture, but I'm saying, let's not just pretend like this music came from specifically the African people that came to, America, because that's not what happened,
The only thing that this kind of reminds me of, and it's different,
If
obviously.
you say Jews one more time.
Nah,
or Hebrew national.
I was gonna say is what kind of happened to Def Jam Comedy or Def Comedy Jam.
Yeah, I got you. I understood.
Yeah, cause they really pushed that like Black comedians only, like very very like only Black, and then eventually like people of other races that didn't really have anywhere else to go, they were like, well, fuck it, I can't join you guys. Like,
No.
it's It's like it was very exclusionary.
Okay, so devil's advocate.
Yeah,
Go
no,
for it.
that's what I'm saying.
Go for
Like,
it.
open
Go
up
for
the
it. Go for it.
dialogue.
Do you understand why though?
Why what?
Why they are doing that?
I understand why, but let's hear. I mean, I think I understand why. Let's hear what you
Well,
take from it.
because do you want me to explain?
Yeah,
what?
I think you should. I think you should for people out there.
Well, so obviously the reason why is because they themselves feel excluded because everything for the most part is just white centric, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
They lack representation.
Exactly. So as a group, in and of themselves, they aren't thinking of Asians, Native Americans. They're just thinking of themselves because they feel just oppressed solely by white people. So when you're saying, like it feels exclusionary, you guys are both saying that. It's like, yeah, it is, but that's just because that's the way they feel. And if Asians want to do the same, or if Native Americans want to do the same, what have you, they already view it as white people already have it. So there's nothing for white people to set up. They already have the club, so to speak. So they're like, white people are done. They have everything already. We're going to do our own thing, and it's only for Black people. Asians can do their own thing, and only for Asian people.
So will it become like American jazz or American or Asian American jazz?
Right.
Well, to me, that's literally the opposite of what what America is supposed to be. The dream of what America should be is actually the opposite of that.
Yeah.
It should not be anything inclusion.
It should be a vague term that includes everyone.
Right.
Jazz.
But Black people, I hate like referring to it as like Black people, like I'm speaking for
Like
every single
they
Black
are.
person.
Yeah,
And I'm saying like they like
it sucks.
yeah. But like for the most part, that's my understanding of how and why they do this.
Yeah. And it's valid.
There are racist undertones to the term jazz, and I could see them wanting to move away from that. But here's the thing, in my opinion, too. Obviously, it's a term like rock and roll. It's a term like punk. It's a term like any other genre. You know what I mean? Like most of the time, the musicians did not come up with these terms. These were like DJs
Like
that came
rock
up with
en español.
exactly.
Right.
And so, and that's just what the general public is going to know it as. And it's our job as artists to obviously like educate the audience. Like this is what we want to call it. But again, like to me, it's you're ignoring the fact that Black American music, that phrase, is you're ignoring the fact that it's kind of exclusionist and kind of gatekeeping a little bit. And that's not to say he himself says like, I'm not saying that white people or any other sort of, people can't play this music. What I'm saying is that we need to acknowledge the struggle that black people went through to get this music, to the point it is today. Who's
not acknowledging that?
Yeah.
Or am I delusional? Like, who's not acknowledging that?
I don't know. I mean, I guess we'd have to like do more research. The thing is, it's obviously like I don't think there's anything wrong. My point is there's nothing wrong with just exploring the topic and conversing about it without having to be like, I'm taking away from the black movement.
Right. Are they doing the same thing for the blues?
Are they doing the same thing? I don't know.
Well, it's all the same because blues turn into jazz eventually.
Yeah, rock and roll.
Yeah.
Once again, yeah, that comes from those.
The thing is, I'm doing my research on this still. Like earlier.
That's
today,
why you want off because you're reading too much into it.
Well,
you're reading too much into it.
I mean, even earlier today, I was reading like a thesis, like some doctoral student
was going deep into it.
You're pissing yourself off. You're pissing yourself off.
Yeah, you're looking for an excuse to get upset.
Yeah, man.
Dude. Oh man. Well, listen, it's because indigenous people have also been oppressed.
Everybody has been oppressed.
Everybody has, but I'm going to say something super controversial right now.
Hell yeah.
Okay.
Say it slowly.
Martin Luther King Jr. Day was like 2 months ago. It was on January 17th or something like that.
Yeah.
And so like videos obviously started resurfacing as they always do every year, Martin Luther King. And I saw this video where he said that the first people and only people to be enslaved in the Americas were black people. Mm-hmm. And people that we know, like musicians that we know, were like reposting this shit. And so to me, that's kind of like, one, it's not true.
Like, check your facts. But maybe he was saying it in the context of like the modern America, or like since America was
the establishment of the United States.
Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, but he didn't say that, right?
Yeah. You know what I mean? You're really, really looking at it, yeah.
And that's not what they're using it as either. They're using it as like this. Anyways, again,
it's the wind. That's what's going on.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Obviously, we're not trying to take away from the black movement, and
Oh, we're not.
Well, we're not. And
shit.
And also, like talking about
Should I cut then? No.
Talking about this stuff kind of comes off as like semi-racist too, I guess, to some people.
Oh, you're
but whatever.
Racist,
I mean, you got to talk about this stuff. That's how we learn. Do your research, talk about it, and pick a side.
I mean, I had to remove your Nazi fucking memorabilia that you were rocking.
No, we're gonna edit it out. Don't worry.
Okay. Maybe. I mean, who knows? But what do you guys think about that?
About the MLK thing, or about musicians reposting that, or both?
Just both.
I think it's really, really easy to dissect a clip or a excerpt from someone that has spoken these words so long ago and potentially take it out of context. And it's really, really easy to make it into a meme. And it's so easy for people, fellow musicians, whatever, to share that meme because they want to
be an ally.
They want a virtue signal without they themselves potentially digging deeper. And it makes them feel good. It's all selfish reasons they're doing it anyway, because they're not fucking doing anything else besides just when you say bring awareness to it, like, dude, in this day and age, everybody's fucking aware. Right. Doug Stanhope had a great bit years ago in terms of bringing awareness. He used it in regards to like cancer awareness. He was like, Cancer Awareness Month is so ridiculous because like everybody's aware. He's all, this awareness that you're doing is equivalent to you seeing an accident on the side of the road and you just pointing at it. You're not doing anything but just like saying, hey, I notice it. Like
it's for T-shirt sales.
Yeah, it does nothing. It does nothing. None of this shit, like, it does nothing. So when people share it, I just move along on the story. I'm like, okay,
right.
You're one of those people. Whatever.
You're one of those people.
Yeah. Like, be funny about it at least.
Yeah.
Whether you're for or against, just be funny about it. Entertain me.
It just reminds me of all the people that, like, when the voting thing happened, everyone would post like, I voted, like, thanks for letting us know, because I was dying to.
The new thing is the vaccination.
Yeah.
The new thing is the vaccination.
Like, I'm vaccinated. I'm a good person. Like,
it's all virtue signaling. They just want to show, it's a selfish reason. They all just want to show that they are a good person.
Yeah, fuck that.
I just think people should just like dig deeper into that shit and just not accept it as as a doctrine.
But it brings me back to what I mentioned, because when you asked what was your take on Miss Pat and Kaylee Cuoco, and that to me is applicable. It's the same. It's the same, because anything you say, if you're not a person of color, you're gonna look racist. Doesn't matter what you say. I was
it's part of that cancel culture,
right? I was, or just basically really
laziness,
white guilt. Really, it's just and understanding your privilege. Listen, if you live in this country, you're already privileged.
Yeah.
And some people are going to have more privilege in this country than others, and that's literally life. That's everywhere. Like, how come we don't fucking do more things for dwarfs?
Right.
You know, like,
it's
like,
like,
what do you
it's,
like,
right.
You know what I mean? Like, if you're not a dwarf, you're already privileged. Like, shut the fuck up. But so I did a Jiu Jitsu seminar a few weeks back. Sorry, a few weeks ago, right? Something like that. Yeah, I was around.
With Gabriel?
Yeah, with Gabriel up in
2 weeks.
Yeah, it was like, anyway. No, because it was like around my birthday. It was like a couple days after my birthday. It was actually a day after my birthday. So whatever. Couple weeks ago. And this guy, during the seminar, when we were taking a little bit of break, it was like a 2-hour seminar. He made what would be like a racist remark or like a stereotype towards Mexican people. And Gabriel, he's Brazilian, but looks really, really white. There are white Brazilians. Yeah. He is white, you know? And he looks at me and I'm laughing because, like, whatever, I don't care. That shit, stereotypes make me laugh. I don't care. If you take them seriously, obviously you're not going to laugh, but like that shit makes me laugh. It was funny. Yeah. But Gabriel looks at me and he's just like maybe
over his shoulder.
Yeah, and he was like, maybe we should continue and start the second half of the seminar. Yeah. And I was like, yeah, all right. And so on the drive back, he's asking me, he's like, hey, wasn't that racist? Like, why wasn't anyone mad? And I mentioned, I was like, oh, because he's Filipino. And I said, if he's white, he can't make that remark. Unless he's around people that are like friends with him and they understand him on a deeper level where they don't think he's actually serious and racist. But generally speaking, in this country, you can't make that kind of comment or stereotype if you are white. If you are Filipino, black, Mexican, whatever, you can get away with that stuff. And he was just like, what? That's fucking bullshit. And I said, yeah, I mean, that's the way it kind of is in this country. He's like, in Brazil, like, nobody gives a shit. You can fucking say it. And I was like, yeah, well, Brazil's also really fucking racist too.
Yeah.
You know,
absolutely.
Like,
yes, it is.
Yeah. and he was just like, yeah, it's racist, but like, I don't know, like people don't take it as seriously. I was like, well, give it a few years. It'll bleed down in there.
Racial, not racist.
Yeah. So, you know, I taught a Brazilian that, you know.
That's how it goes.
Yeah, you can't, and I said, looking like you can't make those remarks.
Yeah.
Even with your accent.
Right. That's true. Yeah. That's true. I mean, and not to get like too carried away or whatever with this topic, but like your point, like he's Brazilian, you know, he looks white and his descent is probably some sort of, you know, Portuguese or something.
Dude, he looks Slavic. He looks more Polish than me. Dude.
Well, there you go.
Huh?
Is he hairy?
He's hairy. He's hairy. He literally looks like the light heavyweight champion that just won last night. Shout out to Jan Blachowicz. He literally looks like him, which I'll pull up a picture.
Yeah, let's get a visual on this.
Oh no, that's right. It's Blachowicz. He looks like this dude. This guy's got like a bigger, blockier head. You've met him, I think.
Yeah.
But this guy, like, that's as fucking Slavic and Polish as you get, right?
Yep. That lunchbox on his fucking shoulders, dude.
He also looks like this guy. Because look, the next guy I'm gonna look up looks like a skinnier version of this dude. Also Polish, clearly. Yeah. They have a look.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
They have an absolute look.
Yep.
Check this out. I'm gonna go to my Instagram and I'm gonna show you my homie. You're gonna fucking die laughing. You know? Well, you won't die laughing, but you know what I'm saying? Like, he looks like this fucking guy. If my internet worked. Boom.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah. Wow. Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah, dude.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, there's a look. And so when I saw him, I was like, bro, you're Polish or you're of a Slavic descent. And I texted him last night after Jan won, and I was like, hey, congrats on your win, bro. Like, killed it out there.
Hey, but kind of like branching off what we're talking about right now.
I want to stay on topic.
I
derailed a bit.
Because of like, I'm ambiguous.
Right.
Yeah.
I you know, like I make Asian jokes, and then the people are looking at me like, can he make those jokes? Like,
you can see them like,
You can.
I can, yeah.
Dude, I say the same thing to anybody. They're like, can you do it? Can you say that? Can you do that? I was like, yeah, you can say anything you want. Like, you just may have to suffer some consequences. You could do whatever that's the brilliance of living here.
Right.
You can literally say and do whatever you want, but you might get canceled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like I might get canceled after this discussion.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing, and this is something I had to point out to other people.
Yeah.
We're not famous.
That's true.
We're not famous
Yet.
I'm not looking for fame. I like doing this podcast because I don't know how many times maybe you've even been there where I said these are fun hangs and conversations.
We need a log.
Let's just log it. Let's just log it down.
That's good.
And so yeah, we're not famous
We have these discussions anyway.
all the
You know
time.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
And dude, the fact of the matter is that now, like I said, this is episode 10 essentially, or almost 11 if you include
count,
the
yeah.
double. We did 2 in one day, where each one is average of almost 2.5, 3 hours long. That would be a lot of material already for someone to sift through to look for something that we fucking said that is cancelable.
Yeah.
Cancelable.
And plus, we do this mics or not, dude. Like,
right, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
this is just-
People already know I'm a fucking dick anyways. So whatever. At this point, now they know.
Right.
And they're like, why do you associate with Brian? Well, now they know. You're a dickhead too. Yeah. Fuck it.
we gotta have views. Fuck
Yeah.
it, man. You know what I'm saying?
So you circling back, bringing it all around. You're more upset. Not upset, but you're thinking about quitting the social media because it sounds like more the virtue signaling that's occurring that you're seeing constantly. That you're just like,
I'm ironically, actually, or I should say coincidentally, I just started taking lessons from this amazing drummer named Greg Hutchinson, and he kind of like stirred the pot a little bit with Robert Glasper, who I'm sure you know too.
about him being an asshole too.
He stirred the pot a little bit,
Yeah.
saying like, all you kids sound the same. None of you guys are going back to the roots, the tradition, and learning the music the proper way.
Right.
So I was like, yeah, he's right. We need to go all the way back. And I'm always somebody who's always done like my own research and stuff. But I was like, I need to like just fucking knuckle down, stop messing around, and just go to the source.
Stop sounding like gospel chops and start sounding more like
and
Elvin.
I'm right, or even deeper than that.
Yeah.
Like Papa Joe, like Baby Doll, like whatever.
Yeah.
But my point is, I don't want to be that. I don't want to be like that. He calls it this McFlurry guy. The person that just plays McFlurry is like just cheap little.
Yeah.
Go back, learn the language, learn the music, learn the tradition. And so, in that process, what I want to do is I want to also like be true to the fact that, like I said, this music isn't just. It's an American art form that was created by the colonialization of the indigenous people and the black people. You know what I mean?
Right. Okay, so question. This is the first, I think, musical theme. Like, I actually
because we had performance ones before.
So, so I guess, what's your goal then? Is to play jazz?
I mean, I want to be informed by that because that's where the instrument started. You know what I mean? Like, I want to be informed. The decisions I want
drum kit?
Like the drum kit,
Okay.
yeah. So the drum kit is, like 100 years
I was
old.
like, drums are definitely older than that.
Well, yeah, drums obviously, but the drum kit is probably like 100 years old and change in its current form.
Right.
So it's not a very old instrument, and so you can go back. I mean, there's still guys alive that rubbed elbows with the people that were playing the trap kit, as it was called back.
Yeah.
So you can go kind of back to the source and learn the language and learn and build that way. But I mean, you don't have to go back and just do that for years. You can kind of start in the middle somewhere like we have. You know what I mean? Like, we grew up in a certain era. I grew up listening to everything, but I listened to Blink-182 for so you start there and you start
branching out.
You branch out. You go forward, you go back. So that's my whole thing. And I don't even know if I answered your question. What was your question?
If
you want to just play jazz.
Is that your goal, just to be a jazz drummer?
A jazzer?
No, but like I said, I do want to be informed by that. I want to be able to play that.
Gotcha.
Authentically, as it were.
Gotcha. Because I feel like, the older I get, there is this, there's this huge, deep level of admiration for jazz, which there should be, but it's almost,
The think you mean Black American music.
Yeah.
Is it because it's, and I read this in a textbook, that it's the most intellectual genre of
Who the
music?
fuck said that? That's like to me, like that is such a fucking stroke of an ego.
That was in my history of jazz textbook at Southwestern
so
College.
a jazz fan wrote it. Exactly. So like someone that's
College,
that's what I'm saying is like they are tooting their own horn and they're like, dude, we're so intellectual. This is so intelligent. Like, like go fuck yourself, man. Like that's literally shit. And you listen to Barry Harris when he's talking about all the classical composers. Like you ask anybody who knows anything about music, and they always fucking refer to Bach.
Yeah, Bach. Yeah.
Bach wasn't a jazzer. What Bach was composing was not jazz. But if you want to look on a deeper harmonic level, you're like, oh shit, this is jazz too. Like everybody was doing that shit. They're just playing it differently. Everybody was doing that shit.
Do you think that there was, maybe it was because the instrumentation was all new to some extent? Like, for example, like the forte piano is not a very old instrument necessarily. Like, you know, for example, the violin is much older. But do you think like there was just more room to innovate back then?
Back when?
Like, I guess with like Bach, for example.
Dude, I just think he was the Jacob Collier of his time. I think not to derail too much, there are a lot of savants and prodigies, geniuses, whatever you want to call them, this day and age, and it's easier to get a platform and it's easier to write. Like, really, there's a shit ton. And I think there were just as many back then, but they didn't have what we have now, so you don't know. So, you know, Bach was the one that was, and his time period was like the soul number one.
It's easier to get exposed now than it was back then.
But that's my point. Yeah. That's my point. And he had the resources to do so. And I think he was just as creative as anybody else can be. Just he was the one that did it. You know, he was the one that figured it out. He was the one that did it. And taking it back to what Barry Harris was saying, he's like, dude, these classical guys knew this shit too. He's like, you don't think these people were improvising? He's like, that doesn't make any sense. Human nature, like that, like, no, they were of course improvising. They were making up shit. The only difference, and this is where it brings it to the jazz or the Black American music, is that's where the melting pot comes in. Whereas you're bringing African rhythms or indigenous people, you know, because everybody around this world is musical. So they were just fusing things together. The instrumentation is not African. It's European. These instruments are European. So Africans were looking for a way to basically incorporate their kind of tradition, utilizing European instruments, but also utilizing, for example, like Western tonal music, and they were literally trying to fuse what they would sing with our fucking tuning system, and that's what came out. But one cannot be done without the other.
Yeah, you can.
It kind of goes in hand with like how this nation came to be, like around the same time is all this shit. It kind of reminds me of like I mean, you guys obviously know more about this than I do, but like in Latin music, like timbales are French, aren't they?
Timbales themselves, I think, are actually Cuban, but they started playing with timpanis, which are the big classical drums. Yeah, it's the same thing though.
But like I said, also European instrument.
Yeah.
This is European instrumentation. It's literally, people always want to take ownership of something. And it's easy to take ownership of something that you yourself didn't even accomplish. Like, how silly is it that you can be, and it sounds like I'm fucking bashing Black people. Like, there's so much.
That's what I'm saying, but we have to talk about this.
It's so, we don't have to talk about it.
But we don't have to.
It's so funny because
I
always wanted to avoid a podcast where we're like, this is so important to talk about. It's not important to talk about. It's not important to talk about. It's nonsense. It's silly. It's silly nonsense. But I always find, but this is a more of a bash on people with pride in general. When you for example, like I said, let's take it back with this. Like, people that are Black and they're saying like, oh, jazz is a Black thing. Okay, but you didn't do anything, and you yourself maybe aren't even contributing to it. You're not even a musician.
Maybe he's just trolling, dude. Like, what if he's just
Nicholas Payton?
Yeah, he's just
trolling,
dude.
He might be. I don't know, but like that would be no different than me being proud of an airplane because the Wright brothers who were white invented an airplane. Like that's fucking silly. I had no fucking contribution to that whatsoever.
What kind of last name is Wright, by the way? Might be kind
Wright?
of
Wright. That's white as fuck.
I know, but what flavor,
I don't know.
Let's look it up, I guess.
Right name.
I was like,
origin.
because you could say that if they're Polish.
Ireland. Irish.
Right, huh?
Originated in England. Right. So that's what I'm saying. Is
ironically meaning shaper of wood.
Perfect, and they shaped
that wood
to make an airplane. So that's what I'm saying is like, just because of the color of your skin, you're gonna take pride in someone else's work. That in and of itself is racist as fuck.
Listen, man, we can just boil all this down to get like, if we wanted to, we could just say Akashic record, man. You know what I'm saying?
Oh shit.
He's
going hard.
You know what I mean?
I mean,
if you're gonna do
elaborate,
if you're gonna do Akashic record, man, like it's like Nikola Tesla, it's like Thomas Edison, it's everybody. What they say is, if you get an idea in your head, like a bright idea, according to you, you're like, I have a fucking great idea. Chances are that around the world, there's probably like thousands of you with that same fucking idea at that same moment.
So I've heard of that also as morphic resonance.
Okay, I wanted to originally when I like sparked, because it reminded before coming over to Brian's, I was watching a reaction, like I think it was Bert Kreischer's reaction to Carlos Mencia on Tiger Belly. And it was about basically the whole like premise stealing. Or it's like, I didn't steal your joke. We just happened to be thinking about the same thing, and I just said it, after you had said it.
Yeah, right.
So check this out. That is actually true. And what I was saying about morphic resonance is that there's been theories, or not really theories, but observations that are speculating that the chimps have entered the Stone Age.
Oh shit!
Oh, they can weaponize.
They're starting to use rock tools and things like that. It started with like a small little group of chimps that they're starting to see that whoever figured it out is now teaching those chimps. However, at the same time, there was another, like roughly the same time, there was another group of chimps farther and farther away, obviously in Africa, that had no interaction with these. They started doing it too. And so
that's some weird shit.
That's weird shit. So then that's when they're realizing like, huh. And so that basically coincides with what you're saying. There's other people that are having the same idea possibly at the same time.
Do you know, are these monkeys messing around with psychoactive apes, right?
They could be. Maybe they're
Primates.
eating some shrooms. They're eating some shrooms.
Right?
They could.
I mean, because they say that's kind of what
that's one theory, the Stone Ape theory. That's one
Yeah.
theory, yeah. I mean, bro, I smoked DMT a few months back.
Did you?
Yeah.
I didn't know this. That's it. Just lasts a little bit, right? Like what, like 15 minutes?
10, 15 minutes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just in and out.
It was.
Did it feel like a lifetime though?
What do you mean, like how long ago it's been?
No, like the actual trip.
No, you're fairly aware.
As in, like, you're present.
It's so hard to describe because it's like, yeah, you're present, but you're on a trip. You're like on a fucking weird journey. The only way, and this has been explained in other people have explained it in a similar sense, is that in a sense, it feels like you open up different passages in your brain that have been blocked off. Like, for example, we can only process so much information through our eyes, our basic 5 senses. This feels like more sensors are open, and now all of a sudden you're like, whoa, you're intaking a lot more information than you're used to.
What do you talk about?
Sex.
DMT and sex.
Sex on
thing.
DMT?
Yeah. Sex MT.
Sex MT.
Yeah.
No, we're just talking about DMT.
Yeah.
But actually, do you take that away with you? Like that
feeling?
No.
Once that goes away, it goes away. The sensors like shut back off.
That's kind of lame.
Do you remember your
No.
experience?
Yeah, I remember it completely. Well, see, the thing is, I think it's different when you smoke it as opposed to ingesting it via like ayahuasca or something.
Okay, yeah.
Because that's going to last significantly longer.
Right.
And in this case, like I said, it was only like 10, 15 minutes. And I remember everything pretty vividly. And we all had different experiences. And Omar's experience was, he was like describing it as like very transcendental. Like he's like, I feel this way and I feel like this is what life's about. Whereas I didn't have any such feelings whatsoever. I merely went in and felt like I was an observer on a journey.
Before going in,
yeah.
What was your take on it? Were you expecting anything? Because I feel like that should influence, right?
The only thing that I was expecting was maybe this will be similar to mushrooms. And it really wasn't. It really wasn't. It's obviously a hallucinogen, but it's still very different. I've done shrooms, quite a bit.
You've harassed the shrooms.
Yeah. And
it's a good word.
And that to me was more intense than smoking the DMT. The DMT actually, it's the DMT. It's hard to explain. Like the DMT is intense right away. Like it's
like it gropes you from the beginning.
Soon as you like exhale from that, you're
gone.
Like I'll fucking paint the picture for you. I think I've already done this to you, but I'll paint the picture, dude. This was so insane.
Like elves and everything. The DMT.
So I'll give you long story short because we realized a little bit through it we were doing it wrong.
Okay.
So.
Is it right and wrong?
Yeah. So we did it correctly, and I took 2 hits, 2 or 3. That's what I don't remember. I feel like it might have just been 2, but I was taking huge hits, and we're talking like this is how huge they were.
Bong rips.
Yes, but this is how huge. Like I'm doing like I'm smoking a bong, but it wasn't a bong. It was like a vape pen. It was a vape pen. So I exhale all the way. I'm like. Everything out, empty the lungs, then I'm all.
Why?
Damn, bro. You did not take a hit that big.
I shit you not. And then I'm like, and that's 1. And 1, I was like, whoa. And it's a heavy body high at first, heavy. I take the second one, just like that. And I shit you not, I could have still kept going. I probably did. You could ask the other 2 people that were there. I'm just gonna fucking say their names.
I blacked out.
I'll say their names and I'll ask them if it's so cool. It's cool. I say their names. I already said Omar and Fern. Mm-hmm. And I shit you not. And so I take another hit, and as it's coming in. Same kind of thing. I feel it. I'm like, oh my God. And then everything in my power, I'm like, I'm trying not to cough. I exhale and I'm like, and then as soon as I went like this, it was like light speed, bro. Like hardcore fucking. I'm not joking, dude. This like you've seen Star Wars and you now have seen Star Wars. We're talking. It felt like light speed. Like I was in a fucking ship just. Blasting off, and I was and we're sitting on the couch.
Were you free?
Dude, no. Like we were sitting on the couch.
Grab my hair.
Dude, we're sitting on the couch. I'm just like, and I shut my eyes because we did it a few times already before then. And first time my eyes were open, looking at we put on this crazy like galaxy universe thing on the TV.
I hate it so much,
dude. No, it's great. And so this time I was like, I'm gonna close my eyes. And I close my eyes, and like I said, I'm thrusted. It feels like light speed. And then all of a sudden, I see like a destination. And it feels like I'm going into like the corner of the room. I think that might have been where I was looking, even though my eyes were closed, but it feels like I'm being thrust. Maybe that's like the destination. It just felt like a dot in the corner of a room.
The angle of trajectory.
Right. So I get there, and then all of a sudden it's like, and I'm in this room. And I'm in this crazy, beautiful room that all I could say was like rainbow colored everywhere, but more. Because I feel like these were colors that I've never seen in my entire life, and they're colors I can't describe because there's nothing visual that I've seen. Like it was just, this is magnificent. Like holy shit. And then all of a sudden, there's a huge giant serpent head.
Oh.
Like a huge serpent head. And it's not talking to me or anything. It's just looking at me. And it's like this, like in the corner of the room. Just like, and it's just a huge giant
terrifying, dude. Like,
and it's just a huge giant head. But I am so mystified. I wasn't scared of it though. I wasn't scared of it. And I was so mystified by all the colors and the beauty of the room that I said it too. That I was like, wow. And I was talking to these guys like, dude, I wish you can be here with me. And I remember, this is the funniest part because I do remember this. Omar just like so sweetly was just like, just enjoy your moment, bro.
Like basically, shut up. You're killing mine, dude.
No. Because they weren't. We were each going one at a time.
Oh, okay.
So they
to take care of each other.
Essentially,
like, okay,
yeah. So he was just like, just enjoy your moment, bro. And I was just like, wow. Like I want you guys to be like, I wanted to share it. I wanted to share the room, you know.
Oh, I thought.
I want you to
for some reason, maybe because I came in late, I thought it was like a three of you like sitting on the couch and it's like, you ready? You ready? Blast off.
No. It was one at a time because we like it wasn't like I hit then you hit. It was just like we were doing one at a time. And it was me on the couch, Omar, and then Fern in the chair over here. And so, like I said, I'm in the room. I say that. He says, enjoy the moment. And the serpent head, like I said, is like this. And it's like staring at me. Then all of a sudden, like a strobe light almost, it's like starts doing this. And I'm just like, holy, and it's like, and it gets intense, like more intense, like a crazy LFO, like oscillating, like, and it's like, and it blows up into like millions of tiny little serpent heads, and then they're all doing the same, all like, yeah, and then they start.
I don't like it. I don't like
weird.
it.
I don't like a serpent head.
So then the colors start fading, and they're no longer beautiful, colorful rainbow. Like they start turning gray, white, like an obsidian black, like a shiny black and gray. And then all of a sudden, the trimming of the room, like if there's crown molding or something, turn like a beautiful like obsidian color. And then all of a sudden, I felt, you know how I said I was thrusted? I felt like I was falling back. And I was leaving the room. The colors were disappearing and it was going like that color, and I was leaving the room. And then next thing you know, like I said, I'm like back on the couch and I just feel like a heavy body high, no longer seeing anything. And I just opened my eyes and I'm like, whoa, like that was crazy.
Like,
yeah.
I know Kung Fu.
Yeah. I know Jiu Jitsu. Yeah.
Damn,
that was my more intense experience. And then, you know, Omar had an experience where I thought him and Ferns were scarier. Like Fern saw little demons almost.
Oh, the little elves.
Like
that's
the little
what
elves.
I was asking. Yeah,
he
the
saw
elves.
the little elves and the demons like walking in the house. And Omar said he has a picture of the Virgin Mary, El Virgen de Guadalupe, and he said he saw her eyes turn like the red, like reptilian, like looking at him.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
Because everything you're telling me, you're fucking the thing, the snake's head, and blah blah.
Yeah.
You're at Omar's house,
Right.
Did he have some crazy shit on the walls, like you know, because he decorates his house, you know?
Right. So
like maybe that like.
but like I said, my eyes were
influence-
closed. My eyes were closed. Oh, are you talking about influence going in?
See
Yeah, you
through
could've-
your eyeballs.
Fine. Okay, so now I have to backtrack and give you the whole long story because this is how it actually happened. I showed up last. Fern was already there, and they were trying to curate the mood. They were like, "How can we make this like a nice vibe?" So they were trying to put together a playlist or find certain things, and they found like a cool playlist on YouTube, I think. And so we go into the living room. Have you been to Omar's?
Yeah.
Okay. So we go into the living room and he has his TV. We go on YouTube. We put the playlist on. And Omar's the first one to go. He's like, all right, I'm going to blast off. Fern and I were like, yeah, why don't you go first, man? Like, you know, we'll see what happens.
He'll you
know?
first, and then we'll decide if we're going to join.
And so he does it. And like I said, he did it wrong. So when you have the vape pen, DMT, you have to like burn it very, very hot, like at an extreme, like high temperature. Otherwise, you're just not gonna. You're not gonna receive the dosage you want. So he didn't know that, and so he was like smoking like if he would like be smoking weed or something. And so he was like, it's just like a heavy body high, or like if you smoked like a heavy indica, like you're just like, whoa, and that's what he felt like. And he wasn't seeing anything, wasn't anything. But he said what was killing the high was actually the mood they were trying to cultivate, and the mood was we had all the lights off. It was all very dimly lit. If there was any lights on, it was very dim in the other room. The only light that was coming was from the TV, from the playlist. And he said the music was actually killing his vibe because when a song would end, it made him realize, he's like, oh, now it's the next song. Like there's a time constraint. And so he was very cognizant of the fact that it was, he's like, oh, I know like 3 to 5 minutes has passed because the song would change. So I told him, I was like, I didn't want to do that anyway. I said, what you should do if you want to cultivate a vibe is find a droning sound. Like a didgeridoo that's going for like an hour plus, where
like
there's
a brainwave, like a wave or something.
Yeah, something like that. So we found sounds from like outer space recorded from, the shit that we've sent.
I hate this so much.
Why do you hate that? I don't understand why you hate that. Like, what do you mean? So there's like projections, like I said, of galaxies and weird shit, and then you just hear like a droning sound, like. And so that's not going to kill anything because you don't know how much time has passed. You're not aware like, oh, has it been 10 minutes? Has it been 15 minutes? Sometimes you could freak out a bit when you're doing any hallucinogen, for example, shrooms, where like, holy shit, like 3 hours has passed. I think I'm coming down. And all of a sudden you're blasting off again. So this kept it neutral. And you're just like, all right, there's this drone that's happening. There's these crazy, beautiful, galaxies that you're seeing if you choose to, see. And so Omar went, then I went, and I felt the extreme body high, but my eyes were open, and the galaxy stuff was like the light from the TV was like coming out more, and I was like, whoa, this is cool. Yeah. But when I did it the last time, like after we came down completely and I smoked again, I was taking those big ones where the temperature now adjusted, and I closed my eyes. That's when I blasted off. Damn. That's when it was.
Dude, can you imagine? So like Joe Rogan, for example, has
DMT elves as we're talking about this.
Joe Rogan has a sensory deprivation tank.
Yeah,
imagine doing that shit in there.
That'd be terrifying.
That'd be
terrifying as fuck.
See, this right here, these little projections, especially the purple color, is what I'm talking about that I was seeing from the TV. And maybe there'd be some purple coming from the TV, but I was very, very much seeing like these.
Look at that one right there.
This one,
that one's insane.
This is the Alex Gray stuff.
Oh, I don't know how I feel about.
But see, that's what I'm talking about. So this is very, very much human. So imagine seeing like these kind of colors and colors that you can't even imagine, like you can't fathom, and you're seeing a giant serpent head like this.
Yeah, but then you see then you understand why these older civilizations have the art that they do.
Right. Exactly.
Can I bring up something that I don't know if you guys have seen before? Like, have you guys seen images of what angels look like according to the Bible? Look that up.
Angels according to the Bible?
Yeah. According to
to the Bible. Bam. First one. This is something you Googled before, huh?
So that's what the Bible. No.
This.
The one next to it.
This.
Yeah,
it's like orb kind of thing.
So that's actually what the Bible says angels look like.
Well, so that's funny that you say that because the burning bush, Moses, and Rogan's talked about that too. They believe the acacia plant has high levels of DMT, and so they believe that actually it was like a DMT experience that Moses was receiving. So that makes sense. Is like
right?
Is these people might have been tripping and hallucinating, and they're seeing these things.
So apparently, there's two ways. There's like that way where it's like rings that have eyes and fire, whatever, and then there's the one with like the wings, but they're actually 6 wings.
Yeah,
and they have, and it's one head with 4 faces,
which would be what we were looking at before.
Yeah,
the Alex Gray art.
That one, the first one you clicked on.
That's why it reminded me of it. I was like, yo, because it kind of correlates in a way.
Which one what do you want?
The kind of wheel one.
This one.
Yeah, that has.
Look at there's eyes everywhere on it. Oh, shit. And there's a baby. There's like a little fetus.
But what is that? That's a baby then?
Looks like a fetus.
I don't know. I don't know about this one in particular, but like when I was doing my own little research, there's different variations about this. Because there's one where it's like, it's just one, like 2 rings that are intersected, and it has like an eye in the middle, and then it's crazy, dude.
Well, there's like this on.
Yeah, like that. That's exactly that.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, this makes sense. This is on Reddit. Of course, this is where you do your research.
It's valid research, right?
Yeah, look at that.
I like how the title says "Remember." This is what angels look like.
You guys don't remember?
You don't remember?
You didn't learn this in school?
That's crazy though.
Yeah. It's true. Like, look at this.
Multiple. That kind of looks like a wolf or something.
I was gonna say like a deer a little bit too.
Oh, deer. Yeah. And then down there looks like an owl.
Yeah, I was gonna say owl for sure. Wow. See, this is the kind of shit that Oscar's brother can do.
Elephant.
Oh yeah, I can see that. The trunks. This is the kind of shit that Oscar's brother-in-law could do.
Totally.
Which apparently he's making me a piece to put on that back wall.
Really?
Yeah, I told like Oscar and Ciara asked me, they're like, "Hey, what do you want as a housewarming?" And I was like, honestly, what I want, which would be dope, still would be dope, was our album like cover if it could be like blown up. I was like, I just want like a cool trippy like and
stained on wood.
That'd be cool too. And so Oscar's like, all right, I'll ask him about it.
That's
and then
obtuse goose. The goose is loose.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know.
And then when I asked him about it, he came and did you see the Buddha outside?
Yeah.
Yeah. Him and Ciara brought that.
They brought that.
They brought that, and then I was just like, oh, okay, cool. I was expecting a painting, but but then they were like, no, the painting's still coming. The brother-in-law is taking forever, and I was like, all right, well, whenever
artists.
I know. I was like, I get it. Whenever it comes, But
so, because we're talking about this, have you guys heard of the stoned ape theory?
Oh, you're in the bathroom and we already talked about it.
Oh, okay. Oh shit. My bad.
You missed it. Yeah.
So at least we're all on the same brainwave.
Another one?
Yeah.
Yeah, you missed it. You missed it.
Damn. That is crazy. That's some crazy stuff.
Yeah. So if you're ever interested, I highly recommend the DMT. You seem very uninterested by it. Like it's too freaky for you.
I just would like to do it right because.
But what does that mean? Like
you're scared of not coming back on.
You'll come back.
No, it's.
I'm scared of not coming back. Like
it's not about like going crazy per se, but it's like. I have such an addictive personality.
You can't get addicted to that shit, dude.
That it's like if I like it, it's like I'm gonna want to do it again. Like.
Here's the thing. If you get addicted to that,
then you'll go insane.
No, I mean, it's like a 15-minute experience. And trust me, dude, like
how many 15-minute intervals are in a day? I guess.
Yeah.
4 times 24, right?
Like you'll potentially want to do it again, but to me it's different than, for example, this where you're like, I want to drink. I can't tell you like any time where I'm just like I really want to do some DMT. Like it's just I guess, I could be down for that.
I guess I could understand that because I've done shrooms once, and
I have shrooms right now.
As of right now, I don't think I've ever said like man, I can't wait to do that again.
Exactly. Because that's literally what happens. Is like you don't. No, it's not like that at all. Like we did it, and when we were there, we did it a total of 3 times. I think we had like 3 trips. The first 2 we did incorrectly.
Yeah, right.
And then the last one was like, whoa. But after the last one, we were like, we're good.
Mm-hmm.
We're good. You don't need to do this every day. You don't.
Every other day.
Now we got more, and we want to do it again soon. And last night it was brought up.
How do you even get like you guys have a guy?
I don't.
Well
I don't.
Somebody has a guy.
Somebody has a guy.
Okay.
And so I wanted to do it. Or no, I didn't want to do it. I want to do it sober. I don't want to have other substances in me. I want to usually like if we're gonna do it, we dedicate that time for that. And if we want to drink or do anything else after, we do it after. But I don't want to be intoxicated by this and then go smoke DMT. Yeah. I just want DMT in me. You know what I mean? So I didn't want to do it last night just because we had been drinking. I had I don't know how many hot dogs in me.
Yeah, it's intoxicating on its own.
Right? Yeah, and I was just like, it's cool. I'm just gonna go home. And that was it. But it's fun. I wouldn't say it's a transformative experience. I think maybe if I smoke more, it will be, or maybe if I do it again, it might. I've had more transformative experiences from mushrooms, definitely. Like I've had some crazy thoughts.
Do you think
mushrooms?
Do you think you can microdose your way there on mushrooms, or do you think it's just do
no,
it, just get in
no,
there?
yeah, and I think you can microdose. Like if you're trying to change something, I think you could transition by microdosing, but it's going to be over a long period of time. For example, like let's say you suffer from anxiety or something. If you're microdosing, for however long, like 6 months or something, maybe you start getting to a point where like, oh, I skipped a day and I feel fine. Like it'll take care of your anxiety. But if you're looking to just have a crazy experience and just embrace that you don't know what's gonna pop in, what you're gonna experience, then you're gonna have to like,
right.
Here's an eighth. Yeah.
Fuck.
Down the hatchet. Wow. Like, let's just see what happens. 9 hours later, let's see what happens.
9 hours later.
That was the longest trip I've had, was 9 hours.
I was gonna ask, like, how is dosing that thing? Like, you know, like, okay, this much is gonna like send me to the fucking moon.
Yeah,
like.
that's the tough part. That's the tough part, because I mean, it's like
jalapenos.
It's not legal. It's not legal.
Yeah.
And when I did it, it was definitely not legal. And so you have all these rumors like, dude, the caps is where it's at. Just eat the caps. Like, those are and you're like, maybe, I don't know. Who's proving this?
Yeah.
You know, we have no way to prove it. And so I remember I just ate, like, each time was an eighth or just a half eighth. Half eighth was a little bit lighter, but I think the full eighth, I'm not a big guy. The full eighth, like, really, like I said, it was like a 9-hour trip. Mm-hmm. And it goes like this, though. That's the problem. Is sometimes, and it was always hit or miss for me. Sometimes it was the best thing ever. Like, I can't tell you a time where I've laughed more and enjoyed everything more than when I was, like, on shrooms and having a great trip.
I wanna dive into that, because my only time ever doing it, we didn't have the actual vegetable. Mm-hmm. Or not the vegetable.
Keep going. I'm gonna burst, dude. I'll be able to hear you.
Yeah. So it was chocolate bars that had like a ground mixture, and it was just kind of thrown in there.
Right.
You didn't know how much was in it, what was the portion, and there were little Santa Clauses. You know, like those chocolates that have like the foil around. Like, it was one of those, dude. But apparently, it had shrooms in it. Yeah. And I was with my friend, and he was like, "Let's just eat the feet, and then we'll see. And then we'll see how it goes." And then I just remember, like, nothing happened. So we're like, let's just have one each. Like, let's see what this did. I mean, we're locked indoors. Yeah. And it was the beginning of COVID. Yeah. So this is March. Like, this is when it happened for me.
Dang.
And I just remember that we started getting to these really, really provocative conversations, and we're both crying, and it's just like, it was tears, but like we're both like happy. Like, right. It was weird experience. And I just remember like being like all sweaty, like just staring at him like we gotta open a window or something. And we opened like his sliding door, and it was so bright outside compared to inside. And I just remember, like, I would peek outside and I would die of laughter. Like, I could not contain it. I would just go like a little kid. Like, I would run to the kitchen and then run to the door and laugh, and then run to the kitchen and then run to the door and laugh. Dude, it was scary. It was scary because it's not that I lost sense of reality, but of like,
you didn't lose sense of reality.
I didn't lose sense of reality, but it was like, I started getting like sensations like food poisoning. Like, my stomach was hurting, and
I think that's the point.
And then I was starting to get like cold sweats. Like,
right. I mean, I was gonna ask him if he like has thrown up or diarrhea. You know,
yeah,
that's usually what happens, I guess, is what they say.
Because you're poisoning yourself. That's that's essentially what happens. Yeah.
So did you shit yourself with the shrooms?
You didn't get no stomach problems or anything?
Stomach problems for sure. Like, it definitely like gives you an uneasy feeling, or it's just like, oh, this isn't digesting right. But I didn't shit myself. This motherfucker, dude, this guy has so many shit stories, I swear to God.
Guilty as charged. Yeah. Guilty as charged.
So him and Diego, they've mentioned both to me. They're like, you've never shit your pants holes off. When I was a kid. And then he just told me, even again earlier today, he's like, dude, I have more shit in my pants stories as an adult than a kid. I was like, what's going on, man? Like, yeah.
No,
how about you?
I've never shit my pants.
Not even as a kid?
I don't think so, no. Not that I recall.
You're lying.
No, I really...
See how common it is for him?
I mean...
You're lying, dude.
Listen, bro, my rectum is like this.
That's it, dude.
No one's judging you here.
Hey,
we're family.
Nobody gets in and out.
Yeah, nobody gets in. Bro, straight... And I said the one time I do distinctly remember as a kid... So brutal. 3rd grade, I don't know if they did this in your school, but like sometimes they would just like, the teachers would just switch the seating arrangement from time to time. Like, you didn't get to choose your seat. You were like assigned a seat. Sometimes your desk would have your name or something. Yeah. But I remember, I think we changed it like quarterly. And I remember I was like sitting next to my crush. Oh. And I was like,
we bumped elbows.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Shout out to Renee.
Hello.
I know.
Hello.
No, I don't even remember her last name though. But
Renee with the good hair.
Yeah, she had nice hair. Little bangs. It was cute. So anyway, so I'm sitting next to my crush. But I had a little stomach issues. I was like, oh God, like it's not sitting here. And I had no control. And this is kind of just after lunch, so clearly I just eaten. And I was holding as best I could. Like I was like, oh, this is a fart. I'm not gonna fart next to my crush. I'm holding it as best I could. And all of a sudden I just can't hold it. I'm like, oh my God. And I'm like, let me just like squeeze. Maybe it'll just be like a little burp, you know?
Shutting the levels of your asshole.
Yeah. It's like I was like, it has to be like this. But as a result of making it so tight, like squeezing a hose, dude, it was just like, like just, and it just, all of a sudden I just feel it so wet. It's so wet. I'm like, the horror, dude. I was just, oh my, I was like, she's gonna smell this. And I look and I'm all, I need to go to the restroom. And she's like, no, you can't go to the restroom. I need to go to the restroom. She's like, you can't go. I'm gonna go to the restroom. I fucking run, dude. Bro, my fucking tidy whities were just like, it looked.
They weren't white anymore.
Bro, yeah. It looked like
sloppy brownies.
Just like mud water, dude. Like not even like Hershey's, because Hershey's is thick. This was like chocolate milk, super diluted. Like it was just.
Agua de tamarindo.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it was. And it was just soaked. And I'm all, what do I do? You know? And so I just like take off my underwear and I just throw them in the trash.
Yeah, I mean.
But my shorts are still like, because it bled through. My shorts are, but luckily they're navy blue, so you can't see. So I put them back on and I just go to the nurse and I'm like, something happened.
You gotta help me out, dog.
You got a situation.
Help me out here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, dude. That was the only time.
I don't think I've ever shat myself at school. At school.
Well, right. I learned never again.
Right.
Well,
public places all the time.
I do it for the sport of it.
Like, I just did it right now. We went to Sam's
Out of respect.
I've shot myself twice since I've been here.
No, but never at school. Never like primary school, intermediate school. Never. Like,
dude, it was so. I remember one time I pissed my pants on accident.
I've done that, but never shat myself.
But dude, this was already like fifth grade,
last week.
Second semester. Like you should be old enough not to piss your pants. And what happened was, I don't know if this happens to you guys when you pee sometimes, but like let's say like it gets
makes a whistling noise.
No, it's like it's a hot day. Mm-hmm. And it just gets a little your scrotum and they're mashed and it gets stuck together. So you
peanut butter, yeah.
So you have to peel it. So you have to peel it off, right?
Yeah.
Well, I didn't peel it off at this.
You just pissed all over your leg.
I was still new to my body. I had no idea this happens, right? So I go to the urinal and I didn't peel it off. I just was like, I hover over the urinal, just thinking it's gonna go.
You just felt it over your kneecap.
Well, it was stuck, and so like some of it was getting in the urinal, but majority of it was getting on my trousers, and I had no idea. And then all of a sudden, I'm like, all right, and I go to zip up, and then I'm like, it's fucking wet, like it's fucking soaked, dude. And then my classmate walks in as soon as that happens, and I turn, and I'm all, it's water. It's water. And he's like, I'm not gonna say anything else. You better fucking not say anything.
I was at, I forget whose ranch it was.
Yeah.
But I'm at someone's. I think it might have been my own ranch. I don't remember.
Wait. What a nice way to just toot your own horn. Right. Yeah. I don't know whose Tesla it was. Oh yeah, that's right. My Tesla. You know, yeah.
Point is, I had to go take a piss, and I didn't want to use the outhouse, so they had an RV.
You want a glass?
Yeah, I'll take a glass.
You want a glass?
I was gonna say, did you want another one of these?
No, I'll try this.
Okay.
What do you want? You want another one of these? Or?
Yeah, I'll take another. Okay. So I'm in someone's RV, and all of a sudden and I'm like, I'm at the point where like I'm almost pissing my pants. I'm like, I really gotta go. I've been playing outside all day, like. And I didn't want to like use the outhouse, so I went to the RV. I'm making my way through the RV. And all of a sudden the fucking power goes out. I'm like, I don't know this wasn't our RV. We've never had one. And I'm like looking for the toilet and I'm like feeling around and I don't feel it. And I'm panicking. I'm like, I'm about to piss. I'm like, fuck it. Like, I'm gonna pee wherever. Like, I don't give a fuck. And then I like pull my zipper down. And like, by the time I'm like, I throw my hand in my pants, I'm already peeing, dude. And at this point, it's like, do I pull it out and just finish the job? Or do I just say, fuck it and just keep going? Like, my hand's still in there, dude. Like my hand's pissed on. Like, oh my God. Yeah. Power went out.
Both of you guys shit.
Let me finish this.
I've only pissed my pants in my sleep, you know, like as a kid. I've never pissed in like...
Dude, I just did that this morning, bro.
I forget which comedian tweeted about it recently where it's like, yo, if you see a toilet in your dream, don't fucking use it.
Don't do it. Bro, that happened to me just last year. Still with my lady. We're sharing the bed. And I was feeling a little too comfy where there was a toilet. And I was like, fuck, I ain't gonna. And then all of a sudden, literally just as it's squeezing, like I feel my other like side of my brain's like, wake up. Wake up. Like,
Get the fuck up.
Wait, are you drinking this?
Yeah, I wake up and I'm like, oh my God. I kick off the covers. My girlfriend's like, what the fuck's going on? And I'm like, I gotta pee.
This reminds me of Joey Diaz talking about the most recent time he pissed the bed. And because he still does it to this day. And that
It's more refreshing than you think.
Yeah, and that he's like, my wife. Cheers.
My wife, his poor wife, dude. This fool's probably shitting in the bed too, farting all the time. Yeah, no, that was great.
But he's like, my wife will sleep through anything except when I piss the bed, apparently. And he goes like,
I fucking soak.
Yeah, he's like, I pissed the bed, and she was like, we gotta get up, we gotta wash the sheets. He's like, oh, wash the sheets? I'm gonna lose like an hour of sleep. Fuck that. He's like, I gotta do a bong hit, watch Law and Order. He's like, no, just put a towel down and sleep on it. And she was like,
God.
And apparently, like his wife was like, we're not gonna do that. And he goes, then I'm gonna piss in this bed every fucking night until there's rings on it like a tree. All right.
Oh my God.
He goes, this doesn't concern you. All right, like just go back to sleep. Like,
who's his
I'll
wife?
deal with this.
Look up his wife.
I don't think I think I've done that before. I don't think I've ever seen his wife.
Oh really? Damn, motherfucker's 58.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, dude.
Terry Diaz.
Dude, the shit he says about his wife cracks me.
That's his wife, I guess.
What is that Jay-Z and Beyonce looking at? I was wondering, what is that?
I was like, why does that guy look so familiar?
That's Joey Diaz, dude. I
thought that was like Victor Wooten.
Dude, Joey Diaz said a joke about his wife. He was like, she's one of those like white women that have like that Native American blood on her. And he's like, and that's what attracted to me about her. Is like, her ancestors like shot bow and arrows and shit. But he says, but I snuck up on her. She's like, you can sneak up on her. He's like, try sneak up on an Indian. Like, he's like, those motherfuckers are master trackers. All right.
Dude, if this is her, she looks like she's from Oklahoma.
That's totally Oklahoma.
Right?
Yeah.
Then she could be someone named.
Her name is Terry. Apparently.
Terry.
Short for what? Teresa?
Possibly.
For Terrence? Short for Terrence?
Terrence.
Go up to the Joey Karate picture.
Right here.
I love that.
Look at that belly, dude.
I love that so much.
That is such a glorious belly. Like, you can't get anything better than that. Right?
I'm actually kind of impressed. That's really round.
Oh,
whatever better.
There is so much feces in there. Like, you pop that thing, it's just like, caca, just spit it right out, dude.
You think so?
Yeah, man. Absolutely.
Wow. That's a work of art.
It is a work of art.
I mean, because up top, he's kind of.
He's slimmed out recently, too.
Yeah, slimmed out.
Is that a recent picture then?
This one? No.
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 I think the biggest was like, dude, there's pictures of him from the 80s.
Where?
It says right there, next to the karate.
80s.
That's beautiful. Look at this man. Handsome bastard. Not really.
The one next to him, Joey in
He's
85.
He's cute. Cute kid. Let's look up Joey Diaz. Let's go 2020.
He was killing it in the 80s.
Oh, not 202. What the fuck is 202?
Dude.
I mean,
right there. That's
right there.
like,
yeah.
That's
he's losing weight. He's losing weight. Mm-hmm. That's good.
He carries himself so like East Coast, New Jersey,
Well, dude, he's from fucking Union Jack, bro. He's fucking Joyzy as fuck, dude.
Like, no one just rocks the slick back hair anymore like that, dude.
I'm gonna bring it back, dude. I'm kind of working on it right now.
Like Mel Gibson.
Dude, my dad does. My dad rocks that shit.
Your dad, man, cracks me up.
My dad totally rocks that shit. He hit me up yesterday. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Oh, I'm at Omar's." He's like, "All right," and then just proceeds to tell me about his day. And I'm like, "All right, mom's not home, is she?" Nah, she left. Mom.
Makes sense.
I was like, "Yeah, you're bored."
Oh.
That shit.
It's the DMT.
It's the DMT. So
Shit.
because you have these illicit drugs in your house, Brian.
Hey, man. Allegedly.
Allegedly.
No drugs. It's drug-free zone.
Would you prefer to do them because you've had the experience over the years and everything? Would you? And I don't know how you used them before. Would you want to do them now in nature or in lockdown at home, quarantined?
Probably rectally, right?
Yeah, either way,
It's best absorbed via osmosis.
Right. Osmosis.
I heard that on Reddit. I gotta give credit to the motherfucker that did that. Yeah, I can't take that, dude.
Honestly, I'm kind of indifferent. I've done both, so like either way, I don't really care. Like this whole thing where you have to be in a safe setting. I think if you're putting that already in your head that you have to be in a safe setting, then you do because you're already fucking with your trip. Like just accept what happens. What is, you know.
I mean, what do you take away from that?
From which one, or any hallucinogen?
Well, which one do you like? Which one do you like?
I like them both. They were both very different, though. Like,
but you said that the DMT wasn't really like transcendental.
Yeah, well,
or transformative for you.
Yeah. It wasn't, but who knows?
It was an experience, right?
I also haven't done it nearly as much as I've done shrooms. So I don't know. It might be crazier. I'm still open to doing ayahuasca, even peyote. Fuck it, like I'm interested in doing both. Peyote's right here.
Yeah, I think you can get that.
Yeah.
If you drive in like New Mexico, Arizona, like you see all the huts all the time. So.
Right. And I'm down to like go to fucking Taos and get my hippie on. Like, fuck it, you know. Taos, New Mexico. TAOS.
Hippie town.
Watch.
Yeah.
That's all.
Looks beautiful. It's beautiful out there.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
I really want to learn or travel more through the continental United States because I really don't know that much.
Me too.
Look at this shit. This is cool. We're gonna talk about that. Let's talk about what you said. Like, what do you take away from that? And you said in regards to both.
Just like tell me like something transformative that you've taken away. That would make it like worth it for somebody.
How would you sell it?
Yeah, how would you sell it to me?
I can sell you shrooms better than DMT because my DMT trip that I sold you terrified him. You seemed a little bit more like, whoa, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So I could sell you more on mushrooms. I feel like mushrooms will... Dude, that fucked me up. That chip like totally went down the wrong pipe. Mushrooms will reveal your bullshit.
That's how I felt. Yeah.
It will like it calls you out, and not like it's not like it's an elf calling you out like another entity. It's like you coming to terms with things that you've possibly been avoiding and confronting. I distinctly remember.
That's a very good way of pointing it.
I distinctly remember this was, dude, I was probably like 20, 21 years old when this happened. Being with one of my closest friends at the time and telling him while we're tripping, I was like, dude, I'm living 5 different lives right now. And see, that's a common reaction too. Is everybody like when I say that? That's such a like a Pineapple Express stoner like thing to say.
That's such a deep thing to say. That's crazy.
Yeah.
But it was like I was laughing while saying it, but it was very much like, no, I am. I'm wearing these. I'm wearing 5 different masks right now for various people, various groups, and it's
like you're spread out.
Yeah, and it's like I don't want to do that anymore.
Can I ask you if it was more of a moment of like taking responsibility or acknowledging what it is that you're doing and not openly like discussing, I guess? Or no. Like, was it a revelation of you calling yourself out on your bullshit that you wouldn't really talk about to your closest friend or a therapist?
No, I don't think necessarily on that level. That's something I've actually come to terms with more relatively recently. Sans, shrooms, and any hallucinogens, weed, anything. But then I was very much aware, at least in that moment, because like I said, it like revealed itself. I was very well aware that I was acting a certain way that wasn't my true self, depending on whom I was with at every given moment. And I think we do this a lot anyway in general. People will act a certain way. You know, let's say you'll act one way with your parents, but you're totally going to act differently when you're with us. Right. You know what I mean?
That's a code switching thing.
Yeah, code switch. Yeah, code talk. You're with black people, and you're gonna start talking. You're gonna try to sound cool, like, you know.
Kind of like what I told you about meeting my 2 employees.
Right. But this was much more like on a deeper level, where it was like, I'm tired of being this many characters, when those characters are all still me, but they're extensions of me.
What age is this?
Like 20, 21. Okay. Yeah.
That's a pretty young age to be doing like
psycho, go that deep
and
into it.
But that's how like, that's what I mean. Like it was
ego humbling.
It was very transformative. That's why I said this was like, shrooms to me is better than anything else. I've never done ecstasy. I've never done LSD, so I can't say. But when I've heard other people's experiences on LSD and ecstasy, it wasn't as deep as that. And so I was like, dude, shrooms for me was very, very deep. Multiple times too, where even when it's a bad trip, you have to talk to yourself and tell yourself like, hey, you're gonna be fine. Like, this is just something to push past. Like, this is like, for example, and this was the first time I did it. First time I did it was actually a bad trip, and I chose to drive.
Oh, yeah.
And I drove to this chick's house that I was like seeing at the time, kind of not really like.
You're dead leaner.
Yeah. And she came out of the house and she looked like a fucking demon. Eyes black like what's his face? Wes from Limp Bizkit, dude. Like,
oh yeah.
Like black like that. And she comes out of the house and she's like, hey, but instead of like, hey, it was like, hey. Yeah. Like I was like, ah, dude. And I was like,
sensory overload, dude.
I was like this, and I see her coming. I'm like, and I fucking floor it. She's like, where are you going? And then she gets in her car, which was parked right out front. She starts following me. I'm freaking out more because now I have a demon fucking chasing me, dude. And I'm like, oh my God, dude.
You're not doing a good job of selling it, Brian.
But this was the first experience. But then
still not doing a good job of selling it.
But then I pull over because, like I said, you have to have this conversation with you. You have to confront yourself and be like, hey, you're still very well aware that like you ingested something. Mm-hmm. And so you're like, hey, no, you know where you went. You know where you were driving. Like, that's her. Yeah. She's not a demon. Just chill, you know? And so it's like jiu-jitsu. When you're in an uncomfortable situation, you have to confront the fact that, like, I need to be comfortable in an uncomfortable situation. Yeah. So I pulled over and I'm like, and then she comes and she's her normal self. She's not a demon anymore. And I was like, okay. But that takes me to what I was saying earlier, describing it, that it is a roller coaster ride. Mm-hmm. It hits you and you're like, it's intense. And then all of a sudden you're like, ah. Mm-hmm. And you feel like, oh, I'm coming down. But then it
ramps back up
again. It ramps back up. And that is where it could be, you know, if you're having a bad trip, it could be a little shitty. But one of the best trips I ever fucking had. This is the best, like, the absolute best trip where it wasn't transformative, like where I said the 5 different lives. This was me and my friend, like good friend of mine at the time. I saw him like every day. He had a huge book, like this tall maybe, and then this wide of all of Salvador Dali's paintings, all of his works.
Oh, dude, that already trippy as it is. Dude,
already trippy as it is. And so we were like, dude, let's do mushrooms.
Trip on
Brew it in a tea, drink the tea, and then just eat what's left over because it's already in there. And I was like, yes, let's do that. So we did that. And then we didn't plan on looking at the book. We were just watching.
It just happened.
We were just watching It's Always Sunny, and all of a sudden it kicks in. And it's kicking in so well, where it's like, you ever had the giggles when you're stoned? Like, everything's funny. It's kicking in like that. And you're just having the greatest time. You're like, you're just dying laughing. And then all of a sudden, my friend's just like, dude, I have this book. Right. We should check it out.
And in the background, it's all like Jumanji's.
Schnozberries taste like schnozberries.
Dude, but he pulls the book out, and we're sitting like right next to each other. So I have one half of the book on me, and he has the other half. And we're just deep in it. We're like looking at all these paintings, and then like he's like, we're focused on each side, you know. And then I'll dude, look at mine, and he's like, holy shit. He's like, look at mine. I'm like, and we're just mind blown, dude. And he lives with his brother at the time and another roommate. But the brother comes home. His older brother comes home from work. And he just sees us both on it. He walks in the door. Yeah. He just opens the door and he sees us both like this. Yeah. He's like, you guys are fucked up, huh? And we're like, dude, it's the fucking bed. And he's just like, oh my God. He just goes upstairs. Right, and we're laughing for like hours on end. And we're just looking at these beautiful paintings, dude. And it's just made everything incredible. Like I said, that was one of the funnest experiences.
My experience stemming from a question that I made you earlier was like, did you go into the DMT thing with some sort of expectation? So I went into my shroom experience with an expectation. I like when it comes to like substances and everything, it's for me, it all happened after college. So I'm like getting to know everything and I'm asking questions. And during my entire time from high school to college, everyone's telling me these stories of their experiences. And everyone's telling me about hallucinations and revelations and all that jazz. Yeah. So time comes for me to partake. And as I ingest, I realize that I'm not having the hallucinations and experiences that I fucking was told about constantly, you know? So my friend he has like a fireplace in his apartment, and
it's kicking in. So I'm just like, hell yeah, let's do this shit.
And sitting on the fireplace, he had a Goofy stuffed animal, like Goofy from Disney.
From Disney, yeah.
Yeah, and he's just sitting there, just staring. You know? And the entire time, I was like, I want to trip out and talk to this fucking Goofy, you know. So I ate the thing, and I'm just staring at him.
But you thought that before tripping?
Yes, that's why I went in with a preconceived notion.
Gotcha.
So, and the entire time, I was complaining. I was like, dude, we ate this, and I'm looking at
talking to me.
Yeah, I'm looking at this motherfucker. He ain't moving. He ain't giggling. What the fuck, dude? These are fugazis. You gave me some duds.
Right.
And then it took me into the realm. And I had a bad trip. I want to say bad trip because I basically I relived and experienced and expressed all these emotions that I've been suffocating down for years, dude. That shit that I would never tell my best friends or a therapist. You know? Like, and
you did this on shrooms with those other people there? Is that what you're saying?
With my friend.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
In his apartment. Yeah. So it's just him and I. And this is the beginning of COVID, like March. So, like, I don't know, man. Like, I just...
Is this down now?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, with my dentist friends.
Do you think that, I guess there really isn't such a thing as a bad trip then, right?
No, there is. There is. So? Because like I said, like,
is it all shit that you just have to confront anyway?
I mean, it might be shit that you have to confront.
That was my experience.
But the thing is, like, that trip that I had, there's been a couple trips too that I've had where it was like anxiety inducing, and I couldn't figure out what was triggering my. Now, granted, I have anxiety anyway.
That's what I was gonna say.
And but see,
you too, yeah, like anxiety
in
general, like you're a pretty anxious person.
Not really. It's more like if I'm outside of my comfort zone.
Okay.
Yeah.
For example, that first time I did it where I said her eyes were demon-like, you know, I was able to, you know, calm myself down, but that's not an experience I would like to have again. You know, then the other ones that were anxiety inducing, I may now have a better handle on how to deal with that because now I think I kind of know what triggers my anxiety. But in terms of your preconceived notions, I think that's you having those notions is a fuck up from society.
Yeah. And it's just
saying like you're gonna see this, you're gonna do that, and expecting that.
And I tie it into my experience with Star Wars, where something that I keep saying to you is like, I wish pop culture wouldn't have like ruined those that. Like big revelations in the movie, you know?
Right,
like,
right.
So just to pause right there because he doesn't know, he just saw Star Wars like last month.
Right, I gathered that. Yeah.
So what happened was, and it's on the podcast. So that one we briefly showed you where Diego's never seen Sandlot. I mentioned literally prior to that, I think it was episode 4, we made a deal. It was the three of us, Diego, Oliver, and myself, where Oliver's a huge anime fan. I was never an anime guy. And so we made a deal where I would watch his favorite anime, but I said, you have to watch Star Wars because he's never seen it.
Like all Star Wars.
All of them, because he's never seen like all the movies, except the new ones. Like you already saw the new one when we had the Zoom. We watched it back in May. Anyway, so we made that deal, and we had a follow up episode where we recapped it and all that. But yeah, that's what he took away too. Is that like since that had fucking crossed over into the lexicon of pop culture, like everybody knows Luke, I'm your father. You know,
right.
Everyone knows that, even if you've never seen it, which he knew. It ruins that moment.
Yeah.
Because you're like, oh yeah, I already know Darth Vader's his father. You know? So, yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
But yeah, man. And then shrooms just
and that's what happens with shrooms.
Yeah.
Yeah. Is that people kind of ruin it because they're going to tell you like, oh, you're going to experience this, you're going to see this, or, you know, this is what it is, but not necessarily.
I want to talk about what you talk about with the anxiety and everything, because with marijuana, for example,
that could be anxiety inducing too.
It alters the state that you're already in. So if you're in a state of panic and anxiety and you smoke weed, depending on the person as well, like it may put you, I'm not saying it will, it may put you in a state of even more. Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I think Eddie Bravo talks about it. He was talking he was talking about it to the competitors at the High Rollers Jiu Jitsu tournament, where he was like, hey, like, be aware of what you're ingesting. Like, you're about to compete. You're about to fight. Like, keep an open mind, be loose. Like if you're anxious, this is only going to make it worse.
Yeah,
of course. So anxiety, to kind of jump on that, anxiety has been like a big part of my life for a long time. A lot of people don't know this.
I know.
But I'm a very, very anxious person. It's just my mind's always racing. And so when I first started kind of dabbling with marijuana, I had to make sure that the strains that I was doing were a very specific kind that, you know, like for like Girl Scout cookies, I don't know if you know, but like kind of would tone back the anxiety-inducing paranoid effects.
That's funny because some people it does the opposite.
I guess
Girl Scouts does the opposite sometimes.
I guess it also kind of depends on you, right? Like as a person or whatever. But for example, this thing that I have here, this is a 4-to-1 CBD to THC 4-to-1.
Ooh, I would love that.
Highly like just chill and
body,
right? Yeah, focused. I use this for focus and just for chilling or whatever. But so that's why I asked, because
this is King Louis straight indica. Cuz
I would see if I would knock me on my ass, that would just put me to sleep.
Same, yeah.
That's crazy. That's cool.
So yeah, this is really good.
But low THC.
Low THC, yeah.
See, that's what I would want. I smoked a CBD joint back in October, and I missed the act of smoking. Like I like smoking something. You do too, I know.
I do. I would love to do those CBD joints just because it's like. There was a period of time where I was buying.
Let's fucking go right now after this. We're done.
There's a period of time where I was buying, where I was purposely buying really, really shitty, cheap weed in bulk, because I knew that I could smoke a whole joint of it and it wouldn't I wouldn't see the devil, you know, like I could fucking function, like because I like the act of smoking. Okay. Like I wanted something that I could just kind of like enjoy,
right,
and not be just like fucking paralyzed, you know, like, or couch locked,
that's
you know,
like,
like,
that's great before bed though. I would fucking love something like that. Mm-hmm. Even though I know it kind of fucks with your sleep.
Yeah, I actually tried
Based
to do
on
it.
Relatively recent literature within the past couple of years.
I was gonna say I tried to not ingest marijuana before
sleep, like
I want to say like 2 hours before.
I was gonna say a couple hours. Yeah,
it should be even more than that, but yeah, I get it.
So, anyways, my point is anxiety has always been a problem, right? Mm-hmm. And so what I recently have been doing is I started getting into, like, just very recently into meditation in the mornings, like right when I fucking wake up, and you're still kind of like in that like weird daze.
Yeah.
I'll grab my headphones that are right next to my bed and I'll throw an album on. And so that's my form of meditation in the mornings. I'll just throw a new album on and I'll just fucking throw it on and just kind of absorb that.
You're like a year younger than me, right?
I think so, yeah.
Our morning routines seem to be kind of similar.
I used to do that. I used to do that like a couple years ago. I used to do that. Let him finish.
Okay, so I started doing that, and then I started getting into Alexander technique, which I don't know if you've heard of this, but it's.
No, I don't think I know that.
Okay, so look into that Alexander technique, because it's completely changing the way that I actually look at not only life but the way I play music, and that's the big thing. It's, and I'm not
Wiki
like
or the website,
whichever, I guess. I mean, you can do Wiki.
Yeah, let's do Wiki. Go, continue. I'm just gonna.
But it's this idea that we go through life. If you look at a baby, I'll break it down. If you look at a baby, for example, like let's say a toddler, actually a 3-year-old.
This explains a lot right now by how you're sitting.
Yeah, exactly. You look at them sitting, and their posture is fucking perfect.
Right.
If you tell them to do something, they're gonna do it in the most perfect, like easy way for their body and natural way. And as we go through life with all the fucking like blows that we're dealt, you know, we start developing poor posture, our breathing changes. And so this Alexander technique, what it does is it brought awareness to my breath. And I noticed that when I'm playing drums, or when I was playing drums, I would fucking hold tension like all over my body. And what I started doing was I just started paying attention to my breath. And by doing that, I noticed that it just fucking calmed the shit out of my anxiety.
Yeah.
I would walk away from the drums feeling like this weird, like, high that I hadn't felt before.
Okay, so in martial arts, when I was going, so my old trainer, my old coach, when I was like really, really like fucking like deep in it, like I was competing at the national and international.
Keep going.
He told me once that like one of the most important exercises is breathing, and I was like, yeah, but that's not gonna help me win medals, you know?
Right?
Like,
yeah, of course.
And then it wasn't until I became an adult, and then I was still practicing in college and everything, that I was like, holy fuck, like I would experience a high, dude.
Yeah.
Like just from doing the breathing techniques.
Oh yeah.
Oh, and applying them to my everyday, like putting a little pep in my step.
Yeah.
You know, like
yeah, it's crazy, huh?
Like taking them out of the gym into like everyday life, and you just kind of appreciate everything a little bit more.
Yep.
I don't think you have. You have because you've seen Choke. You never seen the Hicks and Gracie breathing?
No.
Bro, this is what I used to do all the time. And you know, I've kind of veered away from it just because sometimes life gets in the way. But this has got to be, because him and his son do it. So I used to do these breathing exercises, and I kind of lost it, but I remember I showed Diego. I was able to do this a little bit with how they breathe. It's fucking crazy. And you get high. You get legitimately high. It helps with your yoga. I used to do it in yoga. The body as a machine. So I used to do this literally every time after I was done training. I would do this. Or even if after a home workout before, if I was very, very anxious, I would do this, that. You see that on the left? And I would do that with my core, and I would end up doing this with my stomach. You're going to see it. The short, controlled breaths.
So is that kind of like Wim Hof?
Almost, but Wim Hof doesn't do this exactly. This is very much a yoga thing. But you'll see what he does. Hickson, especially on the right, you'll see what he does with his stomach. It's fucking crazy. I was able to literally do this when I was really practicing it. I probably can't do it anymore. But I showed Diego this shit. You'll see it. That.
fucking music in the
I
background.
know, I hate that shit. But I was doing that all the time after training. You know, when your muscles are so tense after doing something, I would focus and I would be able to do it.
And it's all through the nose.
Yeah, it's nose.
Another thing that I remember experiencing as well, I can run for hours on the elliptical. Mm-hmm. Not on a treadmill, but on the elliptical, I can just fucking go, dude.
Yeah.
And I'll listen to like an instrumental beat, like a continuous one for just so like there's no breaks. So I'm just like constantly going. And what I'm doing is I'm actually not even paying attention to the music. I'm more focusing on my breathing, so I forget about everything else.
Right. Yeah.
And I could be wrong, but I started experiencing maybe like runner's high.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah, that happens.
Yeah, and it could be that I'm like losing fucking oxygen to my brain or something, but like it's almost like it's
Now you're high.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Like
you're probably getting high on oxygen. Actually, is really what it is.
Could be that too. Yeah.
Yeah,
man. That shit is it's fun. Honestly, I haven't done it in a long time. I would say I literally haven't done it since I moved in here. I used to do it more at the old spot. However, I was under a lot more stress at the old spot. Like significant amount of stress.
What do you mean?
Well, I'm not even talking about the obvious because I realized when I moved in here too, like, yeah, there was that.
Yeah.
But I'm talking about the obvious of, for example, this place is a lot more soundproofed, really.
Okay. Yeah.
I don't hear a lot of street noise. I don't have anyone living above me, so I don't have footsteps. I don't have these external noises that would cause, stress over time. Yeah. And so that was a great deal. Also, the fact, when you're sharing, this is where the obvious comes in. When you're sharing a small place with someone, it becomes a little bit hectic. When you're trying to sleep in a bed that isn't very large, and honestly, I'm the one that's probably a nightmare to sleep with, to be honest. But when you're
baby, you good. I'm the one that you gotta put your guard up. Yeah.
Him and I slept together in Europe, dude.
I loved every second.
Yeah. Let's just honestly, I stay pretty stagnant. Like I'm in one spot. Even if I toss and turn, I actually like toss in the same spot. I do this.
I'm the same way.
I don't roll.
Right.
So I'll toss in the same spot.
What kind of animal rolls?
This guy will stick his knee in your ass, bro.
If you let him,
Dude, no, it doesn't matter. You can set up the fucking DMZ. He's still coming right on through. Hitler style, back to the Nazis and the Jews for you. He's coming right through.
Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, exactly. Blitzkrieg.
Shit.
But it was so when I moved in here, that's like, it was such a peace of mind that I feel pretty good here. And
You upgraded, homie.
I upgraded significantly, but it was also just, I haven't felt the need. I still should because it does work wonders. I'm not saying I'm stress-free completely. Like everybody has stress. But it's a nice practice to have.
Well, it also represents roots too, right? Being here. It's a more permanent thing.
I mean,
whether
it's still
permanent or not, but
to me, it's just a step.
Exactly. It's a step.
But this Alexander method actually takes me back to, there's this book called The Art of Power by Thich Nhat Hanh. The Art of Power.
What are you listening to when you get up? Like what specifically?
Boom, there it is. The Art of Power. We'll get into that real quick. Let me just finish this notion, because this to me ties into the Alexander technique in terms of being present, breathing, and this was basically a practice of being mindful of everything that you do. Whatever task it is, you're mindful of it, and you're not rushing. So often we try to multitask, and like this is like, oh, I'm gonna pour this right now into my glass. I'm not gonna be like this. I'm gonna be precise. This is martial arts too. I'm gonna be firm. I'm gonna grab, bring it to me, and I'm gonna be precise.
It kind of
breathe, and I'm gonna do everything, and then I'm not gonna set it down like this. I'm gonna set it down like that.
Right.
and doing things like that. You apply that to martial arts, you apply that to music.
Yeah.
Bro.
It's a game changer.
Yeah.
The book, The War of Art, that I constantly bring up. Brian introduced me to that book, and it rocked my world.
I introduced it to him.
Yeah.
Rocked my world. One of the lines in the book that like kind of stuck with me was like, I'm gonna paraphrase it to put it to my words. Like, every piece that you work on isn't gonna be a banger,
Right.
but you gotta put in the fucking work.
Right.
You gotta put it, like, for me, like
I try to show you some dog shit right now.
yeah, like I try to crank out like 200 words a day. Like, at least, you know, like if I'm not like already working on a specific project, like just for practice, you know, just 200 words a day.
Yeah.
And it's not going to be good. It's not going to be post worthy. Like, but it's just putting in the fucking work.
Yeah. I agree. Another way to say that, I've heard this too, is inspiration is only going to come if it sees that you're putting in the work, like you said. Like, so
Ooh, that's nice.
it'll visit.
I've never heard that before.
It'll visit you. You know what I'm saying? So you just have to be there doing it, and it'll come and visit. And I kind of agree with that. Also, there's this concept in Alexander technique, actually, it's called end gaining. And it's a term that he came up with. It's this guy, F.M. Alexander. And end gaining is basically losing sight of the process, which is really all we're talking about, right? So what he's talking about is being mindful. And so what you really have to do, what I've learned, actually, I can just speak for myself, is I have to be mindful of the process. And so I can only control the shit.
Takes me back to the Thich Nhat Hanh thing. I just said,
man.
Go on.
Actually, before I forget, there's actually a Buddhist monastery here in Escondido.
Oh, yeah.
Have you been to that one?
Didn't you and Oscar go to that?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. I wasn't invited.
Cool.
This was like so long ago. This was early on when we first started jamming. Oscar really didn't care for me that much. Yeah.
It's like when people bring you souvenirs from a place they visit. It's like, thanks for bringing me something of some place I've never been. Like,
Go on. Yeah, there's one in Escondido. Yeah.
And actually, what they had us do, because this was all new to me back then too, was they did their fucking, you know, their lecture, I guess, their sermon for those of you out there, and then they had us all get up as a crowd. There's probably like 80 of us, and we went on a walk around the property in silence and one step at a time, very slowly. And they told us just be very mindful and look at the ground, look around you every step you take. And we did that for about an hour, and it was crazy. Like at the end of that, there was just like the sense of obvious, like just peace and presence. And go ahead.
I don't know if it's China or Korea, but in one of these Buddhist monasteries, they have it's like stone like floor, and it has like a path of grass, and it looks like kind of like the Fibonacci sequence, like, and Buddhists, like, it's some of those, because everyone meditates differently.
Yeah.
Some people, like, for me, like, I consider like long walks meditation.
Yeah,
so,
it can
like,
be.
So for those people that can't just sit still, like, they just walk that Fibonacci little like swirl, like forward and back, and like that's their little fucking meditation. Just being mindful of every step, not going off the grass, and like just
it's powerful stuff, man.
Doing the mindful, that's actually what got me into tea. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It was just like, oh, I'm gonna brew this tea, like just the process of like, you know, scooping loose leaf, scooping it in,
the ritual.
And the ritual, and drinking it and being mindful of, because that was my meditation. It was before I incorporated the breathing. It was just I read this book. I mean, you saw it when it came out, 2007. So it was like a year after high school, maybe 2 years when I got into it. I used to go to the bookstore or library. I didn't go to college right away. I didn't go to school. And I started growing plants. And so my morning routine was literally like, it still is reading, but doing that, and then making tea and going out to my plants. And it would be utter silence. It would just be me and the plants. And that's what I would do.
Oh, you don't live alone. You live with your lady.
I mean, I was at my parents' house when I did this, but they were going to work. So I was alone at the time.
Okay, so I was gonna ask, because like something I've realized, you know, living alone and without roommates and stuff, is that I've never realized until recently how much time of the day I spent in complete silence.
Oh, yeah.
Like not even music or anything, where I'm just like just going about doing my thing, but there's literally no noise.
And you like that or you don't like that?
I love it.
I'm mixed feelings about it because like I like noise. I like having a white noise, you know, there's something in the background so I don't feel alone. But like I feel like
a stimulant.
Yeah.
Do you ever drive without the radio?
I've been doing it a lot more recently.
I love it sometimes, dude.
Yeah, I fucking love that shit.
I love it.
But I catch myself like because I've been focused more on this podcast than I have been on my writing. That I'll like have these. I'm driving in silence now. That I'll have like these super crazy bits.
Yeah.
Or like something just comes to me, dude. Where like before, like I would hear something and it would inspire a bit or a piece. And now I'm like, fuck, like, and I'm not gonna pull over to write it down. So like, I'll try to voice record and go back to it. But
voice memos, dude.
It's still hard for me to get used to.
I love
to
that
be honest.
shit. Dude, I have so many. I do it all the time.
It's still hard for me to get used to.
Voice memos?
Yeah.
No.
I've been doing it for years, dude. Like
I
literally
do
me talking to
notes.
myself.
I do notes. I write it down.
I do the voice memo, and sometimes it'll be a thought, like whatever, and it'll be almost like if I'm almost having a conversation with somebody, but or just like a rant, and I do the voice memo because I don't want to forget. I'll listen back and then I'll transcribe because it's like me journaling. Because sometimes when you're journaling,
I can't justify recording a rant just for myself.
Right.
A rant has to be to someone else. Like, listen to what I'm about to say about this shit.
You don't do journaling?
I do.
What's a journal entry? It's a rant.
It's a rant to myself. Yeah.
It's a rant to yourself.
But
so that's what I'm saying. Is like
it's good enough. I'll post it.
I don't post it. I don't post it. But what I'm saying is that like, let's say you are driving, doing whatever, and you have a thought that's like a journal entry, you know, but it may take a little bit longer to transcribe. You do the voice memo, listen back, and then you write. Am I the only weird one?
No,
that's not
because
weird.
I know comedians do this, and
you want more ice?
And some of my writing homies do it as well.
I do. I've been doing that literally for years. Like,
but it's just again like I have a hard time doing it because it's like first of all I hate how I sound recorded. You know, like when you listen back to yourself, you're like, fuck, dude.
Yeah,
like,
everybody does.
I thought I EQ'd his voice just nicely. I thought I did a good job with you.
Nah.
It's always we always hear more bass in our voice.
Well, because there's a vibration that goes on in the chest that makes us feel that we're.
I do a huge low cut on this motherfucker. He's got a boomy bass voice.
Yeah.
Boomy, bro.
So I'll just bring this up just to kind of
more ice.
Change it a little bit. I was dabbling a little bit with starting my own podcast not too long ago, but I'll bring the concept here. I had this idea in the shower, by the way.
Shower thoughts.
Did you?
That's an actual thing.
Yeah,
it is. You know why though? Because the showers put you in these theta wave frame of mind. Did you know that shit, motherfucker? What?
Sounds like some pseudo science shit. Pseudo science shit.
All right, let me tell you something.
let me hit you with some knowledge real quick, son.
Anyways, we'll just bypass that. But here's the concept, okay? We all, obviously, it kind of ties into what we've been talking about. We all go through life with our own filter on shit, right? Yeah. And this filter was developed based on experiences that we've had living through life. So if I were to sum up like the human experience, I would just say a collection of experiences, I'm good.
Just put them there.
Yeah.
So one thing that I've been doing for a while now is pre-COVID, obviously. If I was like at a party or something, I would go around whoever I was talking to and I would say, what is the best thing that you've ever eaten? The best thing you've ever put in your mouth? What is it?
This dick!
You know what I'm saying?
You ever sucked a dick with Pop Rocks?
Right.
Best Don't start it, bro. Don't start it.
Keep going. I mean, I don't know. Best thing I've ever put in my mouth.
Yeah, best thing
you've
ever
eaten. Cutie right now.
Best thing you've ever eaten. Can you recall something like that?
Bro, in this country, food sucks.
Yeah,
it may not be food. Is what you're saying?
It might not be food, but I'll go first. So for me, for example, traveling down in Mexico. So a little bit about me, just really quick. I lived partially I lived for years in TJ, but also we lived in Guadalajara too. Like we'd go down every 3 months. We'd go and we'd live a month in Guadalajara because that's where my dad's business was. So my culture is very much fucking Jalisco, like like crazy. And so we would drive there, and so I would get to know Mexico from the interior, all these small towns and shit. So when you start passing these the tropical areas where they grow mangoes, we pulled over the side of the road multiple times. But the first time we did, we pulled over and my parents got a mango, and it was like fresh off the fucking tree, and it was the juiciest, like fleshy, as big as juiciest thing I've ever had in my mind, in my life, and that changed my fucking life. Like that moment to me was like a game changer. I was like, dude, food. You know what I'm like? Now I have a passion for food, so that's why I ask people. It's like, what are your passions?
What age was this?
Yeah, I was gonna ask. Like, it had to be some.
It was probably 12. It was probably like 9, 8, 9.
That's not 12.
8, 9, something like that. But I can recall all those experiences that I've had with food and I've had with music, and that's what defines me. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna branch off.
No, don't. Keep on topic, you motherfucker. Keep on topic. No. Let's talk about your fucking.
My favorite food or my most mind-blowing experience.
Just what experiences, like 3 experiences that define you. If you're like, what defines Oliver? Like, what experiences made you?
Okay, so it doesn't have to be food then.
It doesn't have to be food.
But see, I kind of like the food aspect. But go on. Mm-hmm. This, by the way, with that.
Yeah. I mean, I believe you. I'm just not eating that stuff right now.
You're not eating fruit?
No, sugar.
So fruit.
Well, yeah.
I'll give you a cucumber.
Cucumber, yeah.
I'll give you a cucumber then.
Most life-changing, defining moments was when I first heard Curtis Mayfield as a kid. Because
Superfly got you.
Yeah, I just remember hearing the song "Freddy's Dead," and it was such a sad song, but he makes it sound so beautiful in a way. Like even though the story and what he's saying in his lyrics are dark, but just the tone of it and like his voice and everything, it was soothing in a way. It didn't feel as dark.
So that's your food.
So would you say you've always paid more attention to the lyrics and the story
obviously.
Of songs?
I've always paid more attention to lyrics.
Because I think you're like me, where it's the music more than
it's always been the music first.
Yeah, for me, it's always been lyrics.
Okay.
Because if an artist can paint the picture with words like so vividly, like a good storyteller, like because that's the oral tradition right there, dude. That's what's gonna get passed on.
That's totally it. Yeah. Okay, so you had that experience.
I had that experience, and because it was also like a big fuck of my expectations. Because the song sounds like gritty and it sounds like happy, also, but like
this tastes so good. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm listening to you.
And once I started hearing the lyrics, I was like, this jive doesn't feel with like what he's saying. Like I actually should be like worried, like, oh, what the fuck? Like, that was one of them. The other one was eating figs off the tree in my backyard as a kid. My grandma would be like, oh, like we're gonna make this like dish. We need figs. Like, can you go climb the tree? And I would like climb the shed to get onto the tree, and it was the perfect view of Rosarito. Like I would sit on top of the tree and like
just dirt
and just it faced the beach.
Oh, okay.
Not so the mountains were behind me, so I was facing the beach, and I would just see like it didn't have the big Rosarito Beach Hotel there. Like it had the little one, so you could see the shoreline and everything, and just sit there eating figs. Like,
that's nice.
That's one of those where it's like, this is what it means like to like be happy, to be a kid. Like this is life, you know. Like fucking, you do your thing, you play around, and you just enjoy what you got. You know, like I got figs in my fucking backyard.
But you remember the process of getting the figs, not the taste of the figs specifically.
Yeah, it was more like
the process.
The process, yeah.
Okay, that's cool. What else?
Interesting.
That was 2.
3 was life-changing moment was when I dominated English to the point where people just automatically assume that like it's my native tongue. where it's like there's no accent, there's no reason for you to make fun of me. Like,
so wait, it was like one day all of a sudden you're like, hey, I have no accent?
No. Like, it was just like, I remember coming, like, I would cross the border, come to school, and like, I want to say, so.
You would cross the border and come to school. Where'd you go to school again?
Our Lady of Mont Carmel.
Okay.
Right on the border.
Yeah, I know
San Isidro. Yeah. There was a period where.
I almost went to that school, actually.
So before the house that my parents are in right now in Chula, we were in between houses. We were in Rosarito, and we were crossing the border. And I just remember, like, at the time, it wasn't so crazy where you can just go up to the border and be like U.S. citizen. And they let you through.
Right. I miss those days.
Right?
That was so great.
Yeah, I remember that.
I remember, like, they would ask every person individually. And when I would say it, like, he would be like, totally.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. So I was like, yeah. You know, like.
Yeah, dude.
It's like.
This is an experience.
I totally get that shit.
And it was life-changing for me because it was like, I don't have to be what I appear like. Like, I can be whoever the fuck I want to be if I really try.
That's interesting.
You know? Because at the end of the day, I'm always going to be this ambiguous. People are always going to try to put some sort of label and put me in a box, you know.
They'll do that for anyone. I
Exactly.
look white.
Yeah, man. See, that's...
What do you get?
What do you mean?
Do you just get white? What do you? What do they think?
Well,
you
I was about to touch on that because my dad...
Looks like you. You guys look
Yeah.
exactly like.
Yeah, looks like my fucking brother, yeah. My dad is like, dude, why are you so into this whole... like Aztec shit, and like, why do you keep reading all these books about the Aztecs and the, you know?
That makes sense on your explore page. Why I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, look at the ring and look at the, you know, I mean, to me, like, that's so fucking important. And yeah, to answer your question, like, I get all sorts of random shit. Like, it just depends. Like, if I have a beard, I'll get Mexican, obviously. Like, once it's like fully out.
Really?
I'll get Mexican. I'll get even like Muslim sometimes, like, or just some sort of Arabic. Or
Not Muslim because you have the mustache. If you shave this, maybe.
when I'm completely shaved and when I'm like freshly shaved on my head too, and I'm not wearing like a hat or whatever, fucking like Arabic as fuck. Like that's what I get all the time. Like, but in reality, I mean, you know, I'm one of those people that did the ancestry thing, and I'm just a fucking mutt. But the majority of it is I'm like a third Native American, specifically to central Mexico, so like Jalisco area, and Guanajuato too, actually, and so indigenous cultures and Mediterranean. So I'm Med-Mex.
I'm like so afraid to do that test because what if it comes out and like I'm not even Mexican or Chinese? Right. Like, I was like, what the fuck?
You're Filipino this
and
whole
I was
time?
like, I've been Filipino this whole time.
That motherfucker was like, I told you, Bruno Mars, bitch. Dude. So I need to know how that's done since you've done it.
Yeah.
Because
supposedly it's like only the people that have submitted their DNA into it are the people that they choose out of the pile. Like, it's not like they just have this database of everyone out
there. So the database keeps growing. The samples keep growing, and so like, for example, like now I have this percentages of shit that it changes too, but I've always stayed constant that I'm like a third basically Native American. But the shit that changes is the European shit, because you can be like Basque, which is like this whole weird genetic.
It's like under Spain.
Right.
The Iberian Peninsula.
It's just, but they're their own fucking genetic pool.
They have have you heard about their, like, or read into their language and shit?
That's what I'm saying.
It's untraceable.
It's like, fucking crazy. Yeah. And so like, it turns out now that with the bigger genetic pool that they get, it turns out that I'm now like percentages, I forget the percentage, but I'm Basque, whatever. Yeah. And it turns out that I'm also like all this other shit that wasn't there before. So the bigger the pool gets, the weirder my European ambiguity gets. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like but it's weird because like I'm also like African. I'm also like fucking Arabic. I'm also like, it's just, I'm Jewish. Like, it's weird.
So that was my question, was essentially like, where are they drawing the line in the sands of time of what you are? Because right now you are choosing to identify with your indigenous roots, right?
Well, yeah, because that's not going anywhere.
Right, but neither is the other stuff that's to be discovered. Let's say all of a sudden you
create a new race. Right now.
No, but it's like
right now.
like you could keep going further and further back.
Yeah.
Like you could always go further and further back, you know, up until, you know, we fucking came out of the ocean. So it's like, where are you drawing the line as to why, why do you identify with that over the Basque or over your Asian ancestors? Why
yeah,
that's a
good question.
Yeah.
I identify with these. It doesn't have to be the indigenous side of it, but it can be the Jewish side. For example, the Moors, you know, that were very
Arab Jews.
The Arab Jews that were prevalent in the Iberian Peninsula at one point, and then were fucking kicked out and shit. You know,
Inquisition, good times.
I think that I identify with that because these are cultures that at one point struggled and were oppressed. And so if I have to be completely honest,
are you oppressed?
No, but in my life, I have felt like things don't necessarily come as easily to me as they do to other people. And it's one of those grass is greener things, but I do feel like the traumas that are passed down from generation to generation are still there to some extent.
So you're feeling the oppression of your ancestors.
That's what, I think so.
That's what you're feeling right now.
That's
well,
what
I'm not saying like in this given moment.
No, but,
sitting here,
but that's shit that I've been thinking about for the last couple of years, and that's shit that I've been working on. Okay. So this whole, for example, like Alexander technique and the anxiety and all of that bullshit. I think that a lot of that has to do with the fact that, apart from my life, you know, these traumas get passed down because it does fuck up your genetic makeup. If you have a traumatic event and it gets passed down, you know?
So you're getting into epigenetics at this point.
Yeah, basically. I mean, yeah, I think it's all relevant. I mean, how are you not going to look into, there's people that are just like, I don't give a fuck where I'm from or who, but it's like, how are you not going to look into that? Well, how are you not going to look into that? Because it kind of like dictates like the cards that you're dealt.
Because, I hate that, by the way. Because going back, and I think we said it, we talked about it on this already, was that everyone has been oppressed us to a certain point already. Literally every person, every culture, every race, if you want to call it a race, everybody's been oppressed. So to look into it, to me, is dwelling on something that I have no control over. Because what happened to my ancestors, whatever, may have been passed down epigenetically speaking, but I can't control that. I can only control right now. And if that is triggering some sort of anxious moment, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Whether I prove it to be true or not won't negate the fact that I'm anxious in this given moment. So I can only tackle right now what triggered it, what will trigger it, and moving forward, I think that's the best way to handle it. So I don't care where I'm from, where you're from, because and this is where like the hippy dippy side of me comes in, is like, we're all fucking human.
And we're all here now.
So it's just like,
we out here.
When you're like, as soon as you put a label on yourself, you exclude yourself from others. And that's the way I view it. You say you're black, you say you're Asian, you say you're white, you say you're Latino, whatever. You're saying that. You're not saying you're human. You're saying, I'm human, but. And you're making the conversation about you and not about us. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but people won't look at it like that.
They don't, but that's what I'm saying.
People want community, and they want like to feel unique with the people that feel that same way.
Check this out, though. If we all feel that way, but given our whatever he's identifying as that, and he's feeling that, but I identify as this, and I feel that. But the feeling is still the same.
Some people suck, and there's just nothing you can do.
Right. But that's what I'm essentially getting at too. Is that we're all still under the flag of, well, we're fucking human on Earth, whatever, you know, like it is what it is.
That's the big picture. That's the big picture, I think.
So you were saying, because his original question is, why am I not looking into that? And that's my answer. I don't care to look into it just because
it might feel more hate.
No, it's not that it fuels more hate. It's not that it maybe it fuels a little bit more of a separateness. It fuels the pride in something. Mm-hmm. To me, it's just it doesn't do anything to further what we are in this given moment and what we can potentially be.
It also goes into like humans.
Not to hate on you, like rock your shit.
No. I mean, no. What you're saying doesn't like. For me, I think it's like a person-to-person thing because, and I'd be interested actually in hearing what Omar has to say about this because I know that Omar is also really into this shit.
And we've talked about it, so I could kind of speak from just barely. I'm not going to speak from time. So continue, and then I'll tell you what our conversation.
Well, for me, for example, I mean, there are times when, and like I said, but most people don't know this shit. I mean, this is all stuff that like, you know, I keep under wraps, but most people don't know that, like, dude, I'm fucking angry. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
I knew that.
Well, you know that.
Yeah.
And because it might come out of my playing sometimes, you know.
It also just might come out in our conversations behind the camera.
Well, yeah, maybe.
Because one thing we say in Spanish is entre broma y broma la verdad se asoma.
Right. Yeah. And so the truth is, like, sometimes I wonder, like, dude, like, where does all this anger come from? Because, like, you know, I mean, there's got to be some sort of like traumatic events that have happened in my life, obviously, which have happened.
Might tell you where that anger comes from.
Right. And I mean, you know, there are things obviously that I'm not going to talk about here, but everybody has a story. Everybody has a story. Everybody, regardless of what country you grew up in, what class.
Everyone's story is justifiable to their own, to them. Yeah,
of course, and to their experience. And I'm just saying, like, to me, it's important to know, especially being of this origin, this descent of a country that, in terms of like records, doesn't really have great records. So I can't go back and like identify at what point.
Well, the country is also relatively new, if you think about it.
Yeah, it's relatively new. And so I can't tell you like this is who impregnated this enslaved Native American, and from that lineage is where I come from. I can't tell you that shit. There's no. So what I need to know is that I come from this culture of a highly intelligent civilization that also went through this thing and this oppression, and that's where I'm now, and I'm still seeing the remnants of that to this day, and it's still shit I have to work through. You know what I mean? It's just important to know that to me. So piggybacking off of that, because you're talking about of Mexican descent, or indigenous Mexican descent, Mexica, if you will. Yeah. Technically, we are as well. Yeah, you totally are. Yeah, both of you are.
But I've always been looked at as I was never Latino enough for the Latinos, and I was never Asian enough for the Asians.
Totally, that's a whole other thing. But yeah,
that's a whole because bro,
same. Yeah, like 100%.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, so it's like I don't want this to sound wrong or mean, but like,
make it mean, dude.
Are you doing this so like people can put you in a category like, oh, he's fucking Mexican, like he knows his roots, or is it more for you so you have self assurance?
More for him, I would say.
And like
it's more for me, but
like
that's
identity issues, kind of a thing.
No. I mean, yes, obviously, like to some extent, like identity issues. Like we all have identity issues, and we have to work through those. But for me, it's totally like a selfish thing and like a self assurance thing that like the feelings that I feel are justified. And But what you brought up right now too is obviously like a whole different topic. But like, you know, like I said, I legitimately grew up in two different cultures, man. And it's like super weird because like at one point, like Spanish was like all that I spoke, and English was my second language. And I actually got into like this just really quick.
I would say same with him though.
Really?
Sure, 100%. Well, yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, but
more,
what
I would say you guys more have that in common because I spoke Spanish first, but it was very, very young.
I spoke Spanish a lot up until the point, maybe up until like middle school, and then I'm the one that for my household decided that English.
Yeah.
But up until that point, it was like, for example, with my dad, it was always Spanish, and like it was kind of like this weird like. If I spoke English to him, it was kind of like disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? It was kind of this weird like. Don't speak English to me.
Yeah, your mom prefers Spanish.
Spanish
to this day.
Yeah, to this day, because she speaks to me in Spanish. His dad will speak to me in English.
What about to you?
Spanish.
Spanish. Yeah, Spanish. Yeah.
There's no English in my house.
Yeah. I would say his dad only speaks in English if there's others around.
Yes, so they don't feel excluded from the conversation.
Yeah, that's cool. That's cool.
But his mom is like exclusively Spanish.
Yeah. Just Spanish.
Yeah.
So, anyways, I don't even know like what we're talking about now. But that's what it is.
Cultural identity.
That's what it is for me. So it's just a matter of understanding, I guess, like at what point, we went from this culture to this other culture, because me, myself, like you said, like people look at me and they're like, what the fuck are you? And then like usually they put me in the white category. Yeah. And I'm like, no, bro, like it goes deeper than that shit, like.
But like, why? Like my thing is kind of leaning into Brian's, like, we're all human to begin with. Mm-hmm. It's like, why the fuck do we need it? Like,
I'll tell you why.
Dunbar's.
I'll tell you why. It's like it's a professional thing.
But it's like it's also influencing this whole idea that we have to break away into clans.
But it's because there are people. It's kind of like one of those things. Like I'll say something again that's kind of controversial. Okay, in this industry, and I can only speak from experience. And Brian's been there at times when this has happened to me.
When you're saying industry,
okay, music industry,
there it is.
San Diego scene specifically. I've been kicked off of gigs just based on the fact that people think I'm white. And there's one gig in particular, okay, that Brian... There's one gig in town. Listen. I started doing this one gig, okay? It was a residency. And the powers that be told me basically, nah, dog, like the committee got together and decided that you weren't colored enough. You weren't a person of color enough. And I got kicked off of the gig. And it wasn't because I wasn't playing the right shit, because I know the fucking music.
By the way, side note.
Yeah.
That dude hit me up a few months ago. Continue.
People think I'm white. Long story short,
people
think I'm Filipino.
You are white. We're all white.
Exactly.
You're white.
But
your skin's white.
But the struggle and the oppression that these other the struggle that justifies what these other people hold on to. You know what I'm saying? Like they're like, I mean, we'll just say it was a neo soul gig and it's black music, and so the struggle that they hold on to, that they're like, we're black, we've been oppressed, like this is our shit, this is our music, this is our club. If you aren't a person that's been dealing with that, you're not welcome. Right. We need that.
Question. Wait, before you say anything. Question though, because I do know this about him a little bit. Was that said in actual? Like, was that actually said, or was that?
Here's how conclusion. Here's how I know
that's confirmed. I mean, I honestly side with you. I'm playing a little devil's advocate.
No, I know you are.
For the conversation here.
We know the people involved.
Oh, 100%.
And so we know how they kind of think a little bit just from experience. But here's how I know, and here's how I drew the conclusion, because it had nothing to do with the fact. It had nothing to do with my playing. Because the same person that told me, hey, bro, the committee got together and we decided to go in a different direction, he still told me at the end of the phone call, at the end of the text, he was like, but I want to get together with you and shed. I want to get together with you and see how it is that you're playing this music, because it's different. Mm-hmm. And I'm interested in seeing like what you're doing. So I still want to get together with you to.
Well, you studied the roots more than he did. Straight up.
Yeah.
Bringing it back to what you were saying about who you're taking lessons with.
Right.
And when his take was on Glasper, because all these dudes sound the same. You're doing your homework.
Yeah.
He's not. And that's why he wanted to fucking get together with you.
He was still interested in finding out, like, why is this dude playing this music in this certain way that I haven't heard before? Long story short, to kind of bring it back full circle, that is why I'm super interested in knowing what my roots are and what my duties and responsibilities are to
his duties.
Yeah.
Fuck it, dude. I play whatever ethnicity they give me these days, dude.
I mean, honestly,
I got asked to do black gigs at like black poetry things. And dude, like they straight up they
fucking says it like that.
Well, because that's how the guy pitched it to me.
Yo, this shit's gonna be black.
First of all, hey, I don't know if you need to bleep this or not, but like it's a joint here in San Diego. But he was like, it's called Black Expression,
dude.
That's the name of their thing. It's called Black Expression. He's like, hey man, you got to read that Black Expression. It's for brothers and everything.
Dude, you get black?
Yes,
you get black.
Yeah, and the entire time,
bro, when we were in Italy, they said
they thought I was African.
They thought he was African.
Dude, you're wrecking ass, huh?
Look at his lips.
Yeah. No, but the entire time he was giving me the spiel and he was super excited. He's like, bro, you got to kill it out there. I was like, when am I gonna tell him that I'm not black? and how is he gonna take it? Like, and how is he gonna take it? You know, like,
fucking hilarious.
Oh my god!
I did that gig.
He's like, hey, you at least albino or something.
No, he called me light skin. He was he called me light skin.
The funny thing is,
I did the gig and then like afterwards, like, wow, people like. They gave me love, but they were like something's off.
Because it's the content, it's the ability, man, dude. That's what I'm talking about. Like, fuck that shit.
And I did a piece where I specifically talk about me being Latino and Asian.
And they're like,
and at the end they're like, I don't know, like, I mean he's good, but I mean something's off.
Damn, dude.
And it was at World Beat Center.
You know, it's funny that you bring that up because I remember your frustration when that first happened, and I stayed on that gig. I don't understand.
We're talking about the Neo thing.
Yeah, and I don't understand exactly why I stayed on that gig.
Well, it was just a gig.
No, I'm not saying, because if that was the reason for you, like I mean, if you were looking at skin color, like, you know, like, what's the difference, right? And I stayed on that gig, and actually, I was the one that ended up leaving.
Yeah, of course.
I was the one that ended up leaving, and then.
You want tequila? You good?
I've been crushing these.
Okay.
It's funny because I was recently on an album with, you know, some of those same people recently involved, you know, and even
you weren't. I just remembered you weren't even the only light skinned person on that.
Right. There was another.
Yeah.
There was another, and I was the first one to leave, followed by, ironically, someone that was a person of color.
The person that replaced me, yeah.
Yeah, that ended up leaving too after me.
No hatred towards those people anyways.
No.
But it just sucks when you get kicked off a gig for
getting kicked off
for some
sure
bullshit
sucks.
reason, man.
Right, exactly.
Well, you know what's crazy was
when it's not because of your skill.
I was involved with a band where I saw where it was going, and I wasn't kicked off, but they called and asked me how would I feel by having a second keyboard player, an auxiliary keys player. And I was just like, you know what? Just do it. But I'm not going to be on the gig. They're like, wait, what? And I was like, yeah, you know what? You don't need two keys players. And I said, honestly, like, fuck it. We're not making a lot of money. You know what I mean? And so, and I was all, why not you guys just absorb all that money? I don't need to be on the gig. I'll do this last gig, but I don't need to be on it. Like, have him do it. It's not like it takes two keyboard players to play that anyway. He can do it himself. I can do it myself. But why don't you just have him do it? And I said that because I saw where it was going, and I would rather just avoid that awkward conversation and potentially be fired. And I said I would just rather walk away. Absolutely. So I walked away early from that particular one.
Could have been a shit show.
That's the way to do it.
And ironically, that person who's in charge of that group and helps out with a lot in the scene still hits me up to do the sessions.
Still has the utmost respect.
Yeah. No, he's super respectful. I love the guy to death. He still hits me up, and I actually fucked up because he sent me an email apparently months ago, and he was like, dude, I sent you an email and I didn't receive it. It was actually in my junk folder, and I saw it, and I still never tackled the recording, but he wanted me to do a recording, and I still never did it. And that's just me being lazy straight up. I'm 100% honest. That was me being lazy.
I'm not saying you do this, but I do this at work where like I'll get called by like a constituent or someone, like a vendor trying to get a hold of me. And they're like, I've been emailing you for weeks. And I'll tell them like, I just checked. It was all in my junk folder. Like, I never got it. Sorry. As I'm like deleting everything that she's.
You know, it's funny. Like straight up, this was actually legit in my junk folder. And I was like, oh shit, you did send it. And this is, dude, I'm such a piece of shit because I legit responded and I was like, dude, I'll get to it. And I never never fucking got to it. I never.
Because you put it aside already. That's
I put it aside. I got distracted with this or whatever or shit that I was working on, and he would pay me. He's a great dude, and I would still do shit for him. It was just like I don't know. I was like I fucking put it on the back burner so long ago. It's there now. But yeah, I was on an album, relatively recently, and I even told them when they hired me, I was like, why am I here? Like, there's another person who's legit better on keys, and knows
better in what sense?
Like
just, technically, or just like
experience, or
a better fit, like for the image.
I would say all of the above.
All of the above.
All of the above. I was like, this dude's a motherfucker. Like, he can. It's weird because like saying like better when you get to a certain point can be completely subjective.
Yeah, it's totally subjective.
But this dude's a motherfucker. Like this dude can fucking play. He can fucking play. And so I to the point where I was just like, dude, why don't you have him do it? He could fucking for sure do it. And they told me like, no, I want you to do it. I was like, I'll do it. I don't know why, but I'll do it. Like I'll fucking do it. I have no problem saying like that person's a better fit. I've even told students that have potentially moved on or have advanced to a certain level where it was like, I can teach you more.
You're not greedy for a gig.
Right. I'm not greedy for a gig. I'm not gonna greedy for just money in general. I'd be like, dude, you have great potential. I've taken you this far. I think this person can probably take you further. And I would give that to that person.
Game recognized game.
Yeah. I'm not gonna fucking hold you back because I need money or because of an ego thing. Like, no. If you think you can do better and I think you could do better than me and I recognize that this person does that job better than me, I'm going to fucking recommend you. Why not? It doesn't hurt me. I don't think that hurts me. I think that person would be like, dude, this person recognized and actually recommended me, and they would in turn probably recognize someone else to be like, hey, you should go with him. And then he could also, because
assuming that's a nice person, and
assuming it's a nice, but I mean, I don't care, whatever. If you don't, like, I don't care either way. It's just like, take it to jiu-jitsu. If someone were asking me in jiu-jitsu, like, hey, can you teach me this? I'd be like, yeah. If I run into a brick wall, I'd be like, dude, I'm not the end all and be all. I would be like, dude, check this out. And I told it to Omar. I recommended a school to Omar. I've been teaching jiu-jitsu to these guys, and I found a school that I was like, dude, Omar, like, you should hit up this school. You're gonna get a better instruction from that person, not than me. Like no, I'd be like, dude, go to that school for sure.
Do you think it's more like recognizing your place though?
Yeah, for sure. Like to me, so many people like
not spread yourself out too thin. Like recognize that this is what I can do. Other people can do it better.
Yeah, I think there's so many people who do things better than yourselves. Absolutely, I'm not the greatest. I would for sure be like, I'm a jack of all trades kind of thing. I'm not a master of anything.
I jack off on all trades.
I jack off on all kinds of trades. But like, I'm not a master piano player. Dude, right now,
unless you're Magaña, like
yeah, as we speak, my fucking neighbor right here, she's a harp player that was in the LA Opera, Mexico City as well. Her mother is the instructor at the National Conservatory in Mexico. Piano.
God damn.
You fucking think I'm on her level? Hell no. However, we play different styles. She's classical.
Does she come over and jam sometimes?
She's so old. I just told her.
So you go over there and jam.
I just told her I was like, dude, I would love to hear you play. Her daughter who lives here was just like, my mom will give you lessons, whatever. And I was like, dude, I'm kind of down.
I don't want that,
but her mom was like, you already. She asked, we talked. She was like, you already know everything that I would like show you. And I was like, yeah, maybe technically speaking.
Why? Because she's heard you play?
Possibly, but also just like, because the daughter was like, she'll show you arpeggios or she'll show you scales. I'm like, oh yeah, I know.
You're like, I'm not interested in this shit.
I'm like, well, but then the mom.
I want to shred, bitch.
No, but the mom was like, what do you play? And I told her, and then she was just like,
Led Zeppelin.
He knows all that. She was just like, he knows all that, and it's true. Yeah, I do know all that.
Right.
She could probably critique my technique, 100%.
Yeah.
Classical people are notorious for having like great technique.
I think this is why I'm taking lessons
he
with.
He fucking ran.
I know. He's like, I'm gonna piss my pants right now, bro.
Dude,
this is another one of those times.
Yeah.
I think that for example, the reason I'm taking lessons with Greg Hutchinson is because, again, he's a person that got
Zoom?
the language, the Zoom.
Yeah.
Because he's in Rome.
Yeah. Home.
So he's a person that got the language, the vocabulary from the source, from people that were at the beginning of the conception of the music. And I think that the deal is that I lost my train of thought. I think that we're more interested in like learning the lineage and the authentic way to play the music. It's not so much for me that I'm like lacking in a technical ability because I can play this shit. Right. You know what I mean? But I need, because it's not a first person story. That's the thing. I think that's the main thing to take away. It's like I'm learning from Greg because for me, and even for Greg actually, if I can dare to say, it's not a fucking first person story. Like this vocabulary is not first person. But we can kind of we can cop the feeling a little bit and we can kind of tell it in our own way. As long as we try to stay true to what the original people did. You know what I mean? So it's not a technical thing. It's more of like a language thing. It's like people can have their accents, but you're still speaking the same language. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And so I'm going to have my own accent on it, but I'm going to be speaking the fucking language. Just like I'm speaking English right now. You know what I mean? But I probably sound like a Californian, Mexican English speaker, you know, with some weird at times hints of New Yorker because I grew up with a Brooklyn motherfucker from the 1920s.
Yeah, I mean,
you know, actually, just as like an aside, just like as a side note, I got made fun of so much during middle school because I would say tournament. I'd be like, man,
that's so New York.
I'd be like, yo, I have a fucking.
Hey, close the door.
I'd be like, I have a soccer tournament this weekend, and they'd be like, a what? Be like a tournament, and they'd be like, a fucking, you mean a tournament?
Tournament?
Yeah, a tournament.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, no, a tournament, yo. And like, they'd be like, dude, that's not, we don't say it like that around here. And so quickly, it's funny because the code switch, quickly, I was like, oh shit, like I'm standing out here. Like we don't say tournament, we say tournament.
Yeah.
You know?
Tournament.
Yeah, tournament.
I mean, yeah.
Tournament.
I grew up out here, so I said tournament all the time.
Tournament.
I never adopted those little things. Like I used to actually make fun of my dad, because my dad still to this day has the Midwestern thing.
The vowels thing.
He has a Midwestern way of saying water. He says water.
Oh yeah, Ward. Yeah, Washington,
like,
water.
Yeah, there's like an R there that they throw. Yeah. He says water, and I'm like,
does he also say idea?
No, because that's more east.
That's like Boston, England, New England.
He got rid of the like the Chicago, Wisconsin pop. Like he doesn't say that, but he still says washing machine, water, and I'm like, what's water? And I'll clown. I'll be like, what's water? And he's like, water, and I'm like, yeah, water, motherfucker. You know,
it's like my old roommate from Jersey, like in Hawaii. We're like swimming. He's like, be careful for the sharks.
The sharks.
Yeah,
the sharks.
The sharks. There was this chick I used to work with. She was from Philly. And I never heard it this way. And this might just be a Philly thing, because this is definitely not New York either. For water, again, she would say water.
That's definitely a fucking Philly thing.
Yeah, water. Like WOODER, water.
Water.
I'm like, what's water? And I would clown her the same way. I'm like, what the fuck is water?
It's definitely Philly.
Yeah.
That's crazy, huh? We just fucking
little weird accents.
Orange is another one instead of orange.
Orange is definitely East Coast.
Yeah.
That's to me
super
once again.
East Coast.
Fucking Jewish.
It's kind of dying out. It's kind of dying out a little bit though. The more you, nowadays, like even in the South. I mean, I lived in Austin, Texas, as you know, for a little bit, and even down there, man, I didn't fucking hear a country accent for like months.
Well, that's because that's blue. That place is so blue.
Austin is so blue, but there was not one person at the place that I worked at in Austin, Texas. I walked in and was like,
well,
how y'all doing? How like classic, like just Texas shit. Nope. Everybody was just like California, New York accent, like from all sorts of places.
I heard some shit when I was in New Orleans, man.
New Orleans?
Some shit.
Dude, New Orleans is crazy though.
It's so weird.
New Orleans has its own accent.
New Orleans for sure has their own little twang. You would still get You would still get some crazy Louisiana Bayou shit, but
like the Cajun motherfuckers.
dude, they're so fucking.
The worst for me was obviously when I lived in Hawaii. Because they have their own way of speaking out there.
I fucking hate that. I'm sorry. I fucking hate that.
And because of my job and everything, I was so like...
We hated how he spoke, dude.
Can you imitate that?
He could do it.
I could do it, yeah.
He spoke like them, and Diego and I...
Well, that's because he fucking got off the plane and they're like, what up, brother?
So check this out,
bro,
man.
When he came back... Sorry, before you go. When he came back, Diego and I would literally be like, what the fuck are you saying right now, dude? Like, we were like, this is not how you talked when you left. What is this shit?
Right.
So it's this... So in the job that I had, because after the whole politics thing, I became a social worker, and I was working specifically with the indigenous people of Hawaii.
You know how he says it?
I heard that.
And,
I heard it, yeah.
And because of the way I look and I'm ambiguous and everything, people immediately assumed I was local. Being local in Hawaii is something completely fucking different than here in the mainland.
Yeah.
So
you're honored.
Pretty much, yeah. So when people were like, kind of like teaching me in a way, like, no, you have to say it like this, you know, and they were grooming me.
They assumed that you were a second generation.
Pretty
lost
much.
Your way
yes. And then when you're
hat. Look at his fucking hat.
Right.
When you're with that community, and forget that. Look at the shirt, dude.
Right.
Defend Hawaii, dude. He has
Hawaii.
that sticker. Dude. Yeah, Hawaii.
Yeah. So when you're involved in that culture, and it's such like a agricultural culture that I assimilated with the Mexican one as well.
He even had this for the Guamanian people.
half a day. That like when people were just automatically assuming, and because I spoke the Creole that they speak there, that like when people assumed, I wouldn't correct them.
Yeah, because he was like, no, I'm one of these motherfuckers.
I was like, because you have to keep in mind, like, growing up in Mexico, I was always Chinese. And then growing up over here, I was neither. I was Filipino or whatever, Vietnamese or something. And then when I went to somewhere and they made me feel like I belonged with them, it was like, well, fuck it, dude. I guess I'm local. Like, I'm not going to correct them. Like, I felt at home. Like, I felt wanted. I felt like,
just like
I don't know, dude. Like, I felt like I belonged.
Right.
And because they like consciously invited me into their world, into their custom, and like I started adopting the food too. Where like, food that like foreigners are like, I'm never gonna fucking eat that.
We had moose boobies here.
No, I'm talking about like poi and squid luau.
We scoped poi.
And like, yeah, we did. And like you know, like lau lau and shit.
I don't know any of these foods, but you're exciting me right now.
Yeah, no,
you're
it's
seducing me.
Look, squid luau looks like poop.
But it probably tastes delicious.
It tastes amazing.
Why? Because it has like ink.
Like,
it has like squid ink, huh?
Look, it looks like poop, dude. Like baby poop.
That's like bird shit.
But it tastes so fucking
because
good.
As a fucking Italian, you're used to the fucking black squid ink pasta.
Dude, I fucking love that.
I love that shit. And I had that shit.
Love that shit. Like,
I had that shit in Rome.
They do that in Spain too with the paella.
Yeah.
I love paella.
Delicious, dude. Cafe Sevilla.
Do you like this?
Shout out, yo, what's up?
Do you like this?
I mean,
so like, and then
love it.
And then, but here's one thing, and I talked about it to my friends.
This looks like fucking matcha, dude. This is so green.
I don't know if you guys have ever seen the movie Green Street Hooligans.
Absolutely.
Elijah
We've
Wood.
talked about it.
Yeah, Elijah Wood goes to the UK and he adopts the football hooligan lifestyle.
You never seen it?
I don't think so.
Oh, you would.
I'm just gonna say one line from it that it's one of my favorite fucking movies. So I was Elijah Wood in the UK, where he, even though he wasn't from there, like he was already like the people around him adopted him and they made him part of the community and everything, that he felt like he belonged. And at the very end of the movie,
it's great.
at the very end of the movie, he's like figuring out like something tragic happens and he has to come back to America.
I thought it was something with his sister. I'm not sure.
And basically his guy out there in the UK, he's telling him like this is my home. Or no, I'm sorry, he doesn't say that. He like the guy says like, you need to leave, you need to go home, and he goes, well, I don't know where home is, and he looks at him and he goes, well, you know, it ain't here. And that's kind of like the hit that happened to me back in Hawaii, like when I was moving, back to the California area, where it was like, even though I felt more at home over there, I knew it wasn't my real fucking home.
It's a good, and it's essentially a soccer flick.
It
You're
is. It's a hooligan.
Well, that's dope. Yeah, I mean,
Trust me, dude.
You would like. I think you would like it.
Love it. Dude.
You would like it.
So-
I saw this in 06, a year
so
after.
what do you identify as then?
Myself, Oliver, because I can't.
Back to what I said. You're just fucking human, bro. Fuck
because
this shit.
I've had such a hard time trying to tell people I'm this.
Damn, he was 20.
Because of how I look already, like it's gonna take a lot of fucking convincing, dude.
Do you think?
So 16 years ago.
You've heard me speak Spanish,
No, I know.
and to this day, people look at me and they're like, "How long did it take you for you to learn that?" Like,
Fuck, you speak
Well, no,
Spanish?
you
Yeah,
sound
like-
like you sound like a northerner,
Yeah.
Baja Norte.
Dude, okay, so I was in Hawaii and there was this tourist from Mexico City in the Victoria's Secret, and
What did this?
and I had my dog with me. My dog's name is Güero. Well,
What did this
my
Chilango
old
tell
dog.
you?
And my dog was sniffing at her purse. Again,
well he should be.
at this point, I didn't know she was Mexican. I thought she was just another light skinned person because Mexicans come in all fucking colors of the rainbow.
Wait, what?
So do Americans.
Mexicans are as white as Cameron Diaz and as
Dude,
dark as Sammy Sosa.
Dude, people don't know that.
Cameron
though.
Diaz is
but
Cuban,
yes,
but yeah, I got you.
continue.
And
Yes,
Sammy Sosa's what?
He's
we
Dominican.
know this.
Point
we
is,
know this.
Point is, I'm telling my dog, I was like, "Güero, apaciguate." And immediately she turns around and she's like, without batting an eye, she goes, "Tú eres del norte." Like, you're from the north. Like, because of
Cameron Diaz.
how we talk and
Because
how
of the accent, yeah.
Yeah.
I
of
forget
course.
she's from San Diego.
What?
Yeah.
What the? I did not know that.
You know that now. Fast Times at Ridgemont High?
No.
Where did she go to school?
I think she moved to like Orange County area.
Oh yeah, Long Beach.
Yeah. Because I think she went to school with
Long Beach
Snoop.
Polytech.
Yeah. See, classmate of Snoop Dogg. She went to Snoop. Snoop school.
That's crazy.
Yeah. She's from here though.
So at this point, like I said earlier, it's like, I'll be whatever the fuck you want me to be, dude. And especially like when I was in uni. Another thing, Americans don't say uni.
University, not uni. The school.
No, I know.
Mexicans and other
very
people.
British thing.
No, well, like Latinos,
Well,
we say like fui a la uni en la
yeah,
uni.
exactly. Yeah.
So college, sorry. You know, like
And it's not colegio because that's different.
yeah,
Yeah, colegios,
people-
primary
High
school.
almost,
yeah, people and the girls would be like, "Oh my god, what are you?" Like, and I would bullshit be like, "Oh, I'm Afghani and Maori." And they're like,
I go piss again on
yeah.
that. Fuck
And then they're like, "Oh yeah, I can see it because of the cheekbones." I'm like, yeah, whatever.
of
You know,
course,
it's
yeah,
just
yeah.
like at this point, people just want you to be whoever they want.
Whatever.
They already preconceived you to be.
They
you
have
know?
a mold for you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So fuck it, dude. Like, yeah,
I mean,
I'm Mexican and Chinese, but nah, dude. I'll whatever you want me to be.
But just to play devil's advocate here, that's a skill and a mindset that you've cultivated
Because of
your upbringing.
Exactly.
Because you have two cultures or three or multiple cultures, actually.
Yeah,
I should
like-
say. But so the ability for you to say like I'm a fucking chameleon is only because you grew up in the circumstances that you grew up in.
Yeah.
You know
And
what I mean?
again, it justified to me because of how
Which is dope, and I mean it makes your ability to code switch, which
Yeah.
you do code switch,
so
it makes it easier.
So like when I was in Hawaii and people assumed I was local, and I would tell
you
them,
ran with it.
and then I ran with it. But at the beginning, I would tell people like, "No, I'm Mexican,"
Oh yeah,
and then they'd be like, "But you don't have an accent."
they'd be like, well, how?
Yeah, exactly. They'd be like, "You don't have an accent,"
Yeah.
and then I would have to tell them like, "Well, I went to like."
I have a cousin a little bit older that moved to Hawaii, and I think still lives there actually, but straight from Jalisco, like a small little town in Jalisco, actually moved to Hawaii. And he said that he got off the plane and people were like, "Welcome home, brother," you know, like
Yeah.
however, and he just fucking ran with it. So,
Yeah, same, dude. Again,
totally understand what
and
you're
it's
saying.
Because it's also because I wanted to fit in, and
Yeah.
because of like, well, fuck it. Like these people are taking me in when me, in my experience, I was having such a hard time to find a community. You know.
Well, you were alone to some extent, and then would you say that the Polynesian culture is very different from the Mexican culture? Because
Very similar in a way.
very similar. Because I have a Guamanian aunt, my dad's brother's wife, and anytime we're at her house, I'm just like, dude, you're Guamanian, but you're really Mexican. Like, you're more Mexican than you know.
It's funny you say that. Joe Coy does a lot of shows in Hawaii.
Super Filipino though.
Yeah, and he talks about his experiences with Mexicans in LA and how a lot of them meet up with him after his shows and be like, everything your mom does, my mom does too, Holmes. Like,
dude, for real, yeah.
It's like it's all these brown cultures, dude. Like, there's so much overlap.
Okay,
there's so much fucking overlap.
So let me ask you about I'm kind of off mic here. Let me ask you about a different thing.
I like that you're cognizant of that.
Yeah, because I have a trouble with that. Brian has to remind me, like, get closer to the fucking mic.
How do you feel? Okay, because I've as a musician, I've traveled a little bit. I've had the pleasure of traveling. How do you feel about this whole stigma of, like, to put it lightly, I guess, people need to move out at a certain age from the household?
Oh, we've talked about that.
On the podcast?
No,
you and I just talked about it.
We've talked about it.
I have very mixed feelings about that.
Okay.
Because I was raised in a environment where moving out of the house isn't a big deal. Where, like, in Mexican culture, like, you can live at home for the rest of your life, and there's no stigma, no bad stigma.
There's no stigma, yeah.
But in America,
open that for me. Sorry, can you open that for me? Because
in America, again, from what I was told how things were, it was like, oh, you turn 18, you get out, and you're on your own. And so because my dad always wanted us to have this American mindset, and
your dad did?
My dad did.
His name's Oliver, bro.
Your dad is the Chinese descent person?
My mom is.
No, your mom is. Okay.
So my dad was like, we need to adopt that ethic, that mindset of, like, because you need to be someone, you know? Like, you can't stay here. And I think it's also because of my dad. My dad was like, so my dad's from Outlan.
Okay.
So my dad's from Outlan, then, you know, in Rosarito and everything. And it was always like whatever excuse. So my dad was a musician. And
that I didn't know.
So
bass player.
My dad was a bass player. And what I got from his stories of being a musician was like, it was just one of those things that we saw as a trampoline to get out of the hood. It was like, do what you can to get the fuck out of here and go make something out of yourself. So that's why he loved that, like, American
idea. Rap, play basketball.
Yeah, yeah. And that was that. He loved that that American idea of, like, you turn 18's like, te chingaste o vas a chingar? Like, you're gonna go out there and do something because, like, you need to go out.
So code switching again.
Yeah,
yeah. This American ideal,
or it's more of like being able to take the good of both sides and adapting them to your own benefit. Because there's certain things in the Mexican culture that gives us comfort that Americans won't understand.
Yeah, I mean, so here's why I ask. It's because right now, during this pandemic, obviously, I've gone through already 2 cycles of that. So I moved out and I went to Santa Rosa, California, Bay Area.
Santa Rosa.
Wine country, if you will. And I went to culinary school. But the thing is that, like, that was merely just me and my girlfriend living on our own. We came back for reasons that are pretty heavy, and I won't get into that right now, but we're living with my parents right now. And so there's this weird, it's just my girlfriend and I and my mom and my dad. And it's kind of like this weird thing that my girlfriend, who is white. And I won't put her on blast for this, but it's this weird, like, culture clash, because for her, it's kind of hard being not independent all the time. And for me, even though these are my parents, it is hard because it's like you're dealing with just living as an adult. You're living with other adults.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And even if they're your parents, they have their things.
Well, they're also going to view you differently too. They're not going to view you as just an adult.
Right. I'm their son.
Yeah.
You'll always be their son.
I'll always be their son. But the thing is that for you know, my girlfriend, and I'll speak for her culture, I guess, is that for them it's weird, and she's obviously a white person, and for them it's weird to be home after the age of 18. And for me, it's like, dude, I'm just seeing this as kind of like, one, we have to be here because of the reasons that I'm not going to discuss right now. It's health related emergency reasons, but it's kind of like a thing of like, whether there were emergency reasons or not, My parents would take me in at any fucking age, at any point, for whatever reason, just because they're my fucking parents and because that's the culture. It's what we do. It's a culture. Just as much as like when my parents get old as fuck and they can't take care of themselves, I'm not going to put them in a home.
We don't do that.
We don't. They're going to come to my house or to my sister's house or whatever, and we're going to take care of them, you know? And it's just not like that with other cultures. And so it's kind of weird, like living, and that's why I asked you. It's like, why is this, I don't know. Why is this such a weird thing, I guess, for other cultures? Because I've traveled and I've been to places like, you know, for example, like Italy and other cultures. Like Italy is not as stigmatized as American culture is. Italy is very much it's a familial, it's like a family thing. You know what I mean? Like I met a couple, for example, like I was in Italy, I was touring, I was playing music in Italy. I met this couple in Florence and they were living in a really nice fucking apartment that was paid for by the chick's parents. And for them, it wasn't weird at all.
But I feel like a lot of the rich bitches that live out here in North Park and stuff like that are living in an apartment that was paid for or rent is paid by their parents. They're not talking about that shit like, oh, my daddy's doing it proudly.
But yeah, they're not talking about it because it's a weird.
Because they want to look like, oh, like I'm successful on my own. But it's like,
but over there,
you have to recognize like
over there. What I'm saying is over there in Italy, their thought process isn't my parents are taking care of me. It's like my parents own this other apartment and they love me and I'm here with my boyfriend and we're just chilling because they want me to go to school.
Because our culture is it's a more nourishing one of like, I got to provide and more.
Where does that come from?
Generations past.
Well,
but where? Do you think that's like an Aztec thing, or do you think that's a European
neither.
thing?
I would go so far as to say majority of cultures are actually like that. The difference is in this country, it's always been emphasized. You make your wealth. You.
So do you think? So you're saying it's,
as an individual.
So is it a tribal clan thing versus an individualistic thing? Because that's my whole point.
This country is highly individualistic.
It's a selfish, broad country.
So then to bring it broad circle, or bring it all the way around, that's my whole point. The reason why I'm interested in the lineage and my heritage is because I'm interested in knowing, like, why is it that I'm okay with my family and that circle of people, and I'm not and I'm such a generous person, and I'm not individualistic? Is it because I'm not necessarily like,
give me your car.
Fucking take it, dude. Seriously, like
if you can drive stick.
You know what I mean? Like, okay. Have you guys seen, by the way, just kind of off topic here really quick, have you guys seen Pretend It's a City on Netflix with that family? Okay. You guys need to watch that. I think it's like episode 2. Pretend it's a city. Yes, Netflix. Is
this new or?
It's fairly new.
2021.
Fairly new. 2021
it just came out.
Well,
you binged this?
We're 3 months in, bitch.
No, it's a limited series, and it's about this Fran Lebowitz lady.
Oh, with Martin Scorsese.
Okay, New York City, and you guys know that I love anything New York.
Yeah.
Just as an aside, just so people know out there, the funny thing is that I grew up in a household, like I said,
Fran Lebowitz.
in different cities, and we always had my grandpa with me. And my grandpa, like I said, was always my babysitter, was always taking care of me. Brooklyn, New York, born and raised, 1920s. He didn't move out of New York until his late 40s. And so if you can just imagine that mindset, I mean, this is a guy that would be watching fucking baseball, chain smoking his ass off, watching baseball, babysitting me. And anytime I fucking was around him, he'd be cussing at me. He'd be calling me a dumbass. Like, just
good
that
clean family.
classic.
My grandfather did not know my real name. I was cabroncito.
Yeah.
Till the day he died. 100%. That dude did not know my name.
My grandpa used to call me Dick Tracy.
Dick Tracy.
Beautiful.
Wow.
Dick. You look at me, he's like, what's
you
up,
have a
Dick?
yellow trench coat or what?
You guys need to watch this. Here's the thing. I'm a very generous person, and the one thing that resonated, it's kind of a game changing moment for me, was this lady, Fran Lebowitz, talks about the 2 most pleasurable things that you can do in life that don't cost anything are food and music.
Oh,
food and music. And sex, obviously, but food and music. And so for me, I'm like, when she said that in this limited series, I was like, holy shit, dude, like that kind of defines me. And that kind of brings the whole like what experiences define you. And for me, it's always been food and music experiences. And that just tells me that for me, I'm a fucking generous person. And that's it. If you had to define me, I would hope at least, if you had to define me as a person, it's generosity and it's music and food.
I agree with you completely. I think that.
You think he's generous?
I think that food.
If not, I'll show you right now. If you step in the bedroom back here.
No, I think
good size bedroom.
I think food that
he's gonna help us put the TV up. Right?
I think food is a great way to communicate a culture and a way of. Yeah, but like
it's pleasure.
Food culture in the sense where, like, for example, in Chinese style, we call it family style, where no one gets individual plates. It's in the middle. So
that's actually how it is,
and it's in the middle, and it's like everyone picks, like it's for everyone. Like yeah, like
have you been to China?
No, not to China. Okay. But it's growing. I grew up so.
He's gone to their number one enemy though.
I have Japan. No, but
they all hate Japan.
Yeah. I don't speak the Chinese language. My grandma like showed me a few words here and there growing up, but one of the things that really like was the way that I was like, oh, I'm fucking Chinese was the food. Was like that's the only thing that we really kept as a family.
It's fucking dope, man.
The dog.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you cook?
Hell yeah, dude.
Dog.
He said hell yeah. Huh? Dog.
Nah.
Say it with your chest, man.
No, but yeah, like, and that's when I feel the most like in touch with my roots. Yeah. It's the food, dude.
Wow, you guys are so in touch with things. Yeah. I had Cheez-Its.
You need more emotions.
If you want to be in touch with things, we'll take you to the bedroom again.
You need more emotions, Brian. You need to stop carrying the little piece of onion in your pocket so you can make yourself cry in sensitive moments.
Right.
I know, like,
dude.
I know Omar tried to get all like. I remember when I was saying, dude, because
we need to have Omar on this shit.
He's been on twice.
I'm saying like with us. Like,
yeah. Dude, we could do it again next week. We do.
We don't have to record it. It could just be a hang. Yeah.
Dude, let's just hang
and record it. We did. I know this guy's like, I don't really want to record it. Omar's like you, where he's all deep in the roots and and the mysticism.
I know. I want to get his tattoo guy, but continue.
He has many, but I was telling him, before Africa, I still have stomach issues, but I shit you not, dude. Like Africa fucking changed me somehow.
You, Brian.
Straight up, I can eat basically anything now since I've been back.
It could be because of
why
you got some bacteria out there.
Who knows? I have no idea. I had food poisoning out there, but since I've been back, I can eat pizza. I can eat a bunch of shit.
Wait, for real?
Straight up. Yeah. When we were having the hot dogs, I was eating regular buns. I could eat fucking anything
gluten.
Now. I can eat anything now. It's weird, and it's literally since Africa.
I think it's anything outside of the U.S.
Right, but now I'm back, and I'm able to do it. So when I was telling before Africa, I was like, dude, when I went to Europe by myself and when I went to Europe with these guys, I was like, dude, I can eat anything out there and nothing bothers me. And he was like, dude, it's that European food. He was all trying to equate it as like, it's because you're white, motherfucker. Like you.
Who said that? Omar said that?
Omar. He's like, you respond to the white shit. And I'm all, I guess, dude, I don't know. But I was like, that doesn't make any sense though, because there's no gluten in corn tortillas, anything like that. Like I can eat Mexican shit. Like that doesn't make any sense. But he's all about that. Like, oh, that's your genetics. You know?
I actually had to break away from that hate for a while. I was experiencing a lot of bias and a lot of prejudice because of how I look, I guess, or how I sound. I don't know. And
you sound sexy as fuck, by the way.
And I started.
It's a great bassy voice, dude.
And I started like getting very like. I started looking for theories, ideas, and practices that would only fuel my hate instead of make me realize like at the end of the day we all live here and it'd be a lot easier if we all just got along.
In the end, we all fruit.
Yeah.
Big fat Greek
Doesn't
wedding.
even matter.
No, continue. Sorry.
Yeah. So it's just like I was very anti-white for like a very long time, dude. Like very, very anti-white, and I was very vocal about it too. I was like,
right.
fuck that. And
That's very now. That's very with the time.
yeah. And then I want to say like 2 years ago, then I started realizing like I'm acting the same way that I talk shit about how they act.
Yeah. Who's they, motherfucker?
Who's they?
Exactly. You know.
Well,
I'm talking about white people. I'm talking about white people.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And
I love white people.
And it's just like at the end of the day, we only get outraged when it's convenient to us, dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, and I don't want to constantly live like if I don't have some sort of drama going on, then I'm not happy, you know?
Right.
It's like I'm kind of just over it. Like I just want to do my thing, and if people hate it, then people are gonna hate it. If not, then fuck it. Like, okay, good example with the book.
Yeah.
Like, there's a reason why I stayed in character in the bio, because like everyone's being professional and doing their accomplishments. I'm like, fuck this, dude. Like, I'm gonna like this
persona. Fuck it.
Yeah, exactly. It's the persona. It's an act. It's a character. Fuck, I'm gonna own it, dude.
Do you think that's an age thing? That's a maturity thing, or do you think
yes, because 2-3 years ago when I was like acting very, very stupid, and saying a lot of stupid.
Well, 2-3 years ago, I kind of remember like vaguely like that you were reading like a bunch of like black stuff, right? Like black culture history.
That's because of it was a girl I was sleeping with.
Oh.
That's the first time this motherfucker's ever said that shit. That's great, dude.
Yeah,
you admitted that. That's great.
Yeah, I was hooking up with this girl.
I mean, anything for pussy. Right?
And exactly. Hey, another saying we have in Spanish is like dos tetas jalan más que una carreta.
All right, we're gonna wrap this up.
I heard that.
Yeah. So she was like, no, like your thing is like you're not black, but you're part original. Like we're the original people and blah blah. And it was basically the 5% nation, like nation of gods and earth and everything.
No,
it's very hip hop. It's very fucking hip hop.
I'm gonna show you right now about the 5%
like,
nation.
5% nation, bro. What about the fucking 5 nations? The fucking indigenous, the Cherokee, the
No, they ain't got shit on this shit, dude.
nations of gods and earth.
Yep, this is right here, right in the island, dude.
Okay,
And Hatch.
Harlem. Okay, what year though in Harlem?
It was like in the 60s.
It's not 1964.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Started by this dude.
Yeah, so again, like she sucked me into it, and I started like going into it, and again, it's very, very anti-white, very,
Of course.
and at one point, because it goes on to the point of like white people are the devil and black people are gods, and it's just like it's like very literally black and white.
It's
Well, they all kings.
you can't fucking swing the pendulum like both ways. You know what I mean? Like just.
But at the end of the day, it fell back to like I don't know where home is. Well, you know, it's not here. You know, like
Yeah.
it's just like I just need to do what fucking makes me happy, and if it doesn't affect the people around me severely, then they have nothing to complain. No harm, no foul.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where I'm at right now too.
I still have the books, by the way, and they're actually funny to look back into because some of the shit that is there, it's like if you, again, you can believe in anything if you really want to.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like if you really want to, you will give it purpose and you will give it meaning. So
That was a sign right there.
What was
That shit right now just said, yeah, you need to smoke this right now.
Definitely not. This is Terramana, bro. I mean, look at that shit. We've cleaned it out.
Bro, let me tell you something.
But my point is,
all right, finish that and I'm going to tell you something.
okay, my point is exactly what you're saying. It's like we're just, I mean, you can't swing the pendulum both ways.
Well, listen, black people are the original people of the planet Earth right here. Bam. It says it right there. They are the fathers, gods, and mothers, earth of civilization. The nation teaches that supreme mathematics and
which
supreme
is something we've
alphabet,
discussed.
a set of principles, even though the mathematical symbols that we use are Arabic, and the alphabet that we use is largely Phoenician.
Okay. Can I say something?
But also indigenous American, because the 0 is actually fucking Mayan.
Yeah. So I want to bring something up to you guys that are musicians and are familiar with musical scales, and not just Western musical scales. So one of the basic things, they try to like oversimplify things, where it's like, I'm a god. So if God created man in his own likeness and image, and how does that not make me a god? Because I'm made in his likeness and image. So
you sound like me when I was 18.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It sounds very like
it's very rudimentary.
Exactly. So, and another thing they say is like
rudimentary.
It's like
primitive.
And the gods represented by the number 7, because gods can see in the 7 colors of the rainbow and hear in the 7 notes of the musical scale.
Okay, I've never heard that, but that's stupid.
But that's right. What they in their like what they teach and stuff.
So fucking dumb, dude.
Okay. So it's like to anyone that like
you know anything about how humans hear.
Right. But
so it's to justify their likeness to God, you know.
Right.
And it's like, and again, it's like to anyone that can see that and with a basic intellect, or not to say basic intellect, but like they can read that and be like, oh my fucking God, they'll get sucked into it easy. Where it's like, if you really dive in, there's more than 7.
Because they're uneducated, dude.
That's what I'm getting
Anyone
at.
who gets sucked in that shit is just...
It's like Trump speeches, like to the people that resonate.
So what's your question?
I like that Milwaukee
What's your question,
Cream City.
Wait, what is this thing with Detroit, New Jersey, Chicago?
Those are like their code names for them.
Yeah. C. Medina, Chicago,
D.
Queens.
Mecca, Jerusalem.
The
desert.
Brooklyn is Medina.
Harlem's
Mecca.
Why would Queens be the desert?
I think they call Oakland Cypher City or Cypher Land or something like that.
I have no idea, but Milwaukee being Cream City is hilarious to me. Sudan is Dallas.
But again, it was because of a girl I was hooking up with that she got me really, really sucked.
But I mean, it's interesting and almost kind of culty that
it's very culty.
100% culty.
That's very culty.
It's exclusionist and culty that there's shit. So Brooklyn is Medina.
Yeah. And then Chicago C. Medina.
Okay, we're named after notable Islamic cities. Okay. I get it now. Man, again, I don't know what to tell you, man.
It's just people making up shit.
I was chasing pussy.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, it showed you this whole side of things. So,
and there is some cool stuff that I got from it that I still kind of adopt to this day.
I love this. Of course. Allah the Father, formerly Clarence 13th.
No, that he legally changed his name to Allah the Father.
I know, the founder of the Nation of Gods.
So have you guys kind of
L. Ron
like,
Hubbard of the black people?
Have you guys? So I took in college.
Oh shit!
You took what in college?
In college, I took a couple of religions courses, like
theology courses.
Theology.
I took mythology in college, but yeah.
Did you guys ever get deep into Islam?
No, I did.
He did.
You did? Okay.
Well, I lived with 5 Indonesian Muslim girls.
Okay.
And I had to adopt the culture real fucking quick.
So what would, for some reason, and I'm just asking because I really don't know. Why would these famous jazz musicians, change religions from Christianity, for example, to Islam? Like John Coltrane, for example.
Lack of identity.
John Coltrane, for what?
I said lack of identity.
Look, he made giant steps, all right, motherfucker?
Dude, stop.
And his giant step was to Islam, all right?
I will shut this off right now, dude.
We're shutting the studio down.
God damn it.
You got to go find a midget with the red balloon.
Cut.
Holding these balloons.
Lights.
Holding these
midgets. That's a midget.
Yeah. You got to get a sugar cookie.
You know what's another term we can't say is fucking it's a midget, retard, faggot. Faggot's another one that we used to say all the time growing up in high school.
There's a lot of beautiful words that you can't use anymore.
A lot of beautiful
words. I know. I say artard now.
Yeah.
Artard?
You bleeped yourself the last episode. It's they're Cajun now, all right?
They're Cajun.
They're Cajun.
Y'all want to sing about?
Yeah.
No, but I mean, for even in Mexico, like they're trying to push this movement where you can't say naco anymore.
For real?
Yeah, you're like, oh, you can't, like, that's like, it's classist.
Mayate's off the table these days.
You can't say that anymore.
Dude, I
had to scold someone recently for saying that.
I got in a fight in high school. This was probably like sophomore year, I want to say.
It's about the age.
You're right.
Yeah, the hormones are going.
I got in a
15,
fight. I got in a
16.
fucking physical fight with this black homie of mine. I thought he was a cool dude. Because I called him, I was like, "Yo, what up, mi negro?" Like I told him, like because in Spanish, it's not really like a weird thing.
Negro's not the N word,
right? And I called him that, and he was like, "Yo, what the fuck did you say?" And I was like, "I just called you like what I would in Spanish." And he was like, "Nah, dog, you can't say that shit." And he got all up in my face about it, and I was like, really, like, kind of like, dude, are we really gonna do this because I called you just like. It was kind of like a term of endearment, you know. I was like,
yeah, but now it's extended beyond that. Now it's a level of males challenging other males, testosterone.
Right, that's probably what it was.
Okay, because
no, let him finish. Let him finish the story. Let him finish.
Well, I mean, he was definitely like a person that like, I mean, we knew him as like Jay, for example. He was like a person that kind of like, you know, he had a reputation. So when I called him, like, it was just like I was just like, "Yo, what up, dude?" Like I was trying to say like, "What's up, dude?" But I told him in Spanish, and he just took it as like, "Dude, you're fucking like calling me like." N-word, and I was like, that's not what it is, you know.
You're like, and what, bitch?
Yeah. No, I want to go off of what Brian is saying because my old roommate in Hawaii, half white, half black, from
just call him
Montana,
Black.
and his name is Black.
Yeah.
Oh,
His name is Black.
Blackwell.
But
Blackwell.
He was in the military, so everyone just black, and he went with it. So
Yeah.
he only
Black.
identifies as black. He like when he introduces himself to people, he's like, "My name's Black."
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. And he looks like Steph Curry.
Yeah.
So
Oh,
he's
okay.
light skinned.
Light
Light skinned. So
Shout out to Ernie.
yeah, when we were out at parties, like he would embrace, like when he would hear, you know, people that weren't black making, you know, either black jokes
Some
or
black shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He would play the card, dude. Like he would, because in reality he could look Arab or something, but like
Arab.
No,
Arab, yeah.
he can't though.
No, but it's like when you look at Ernie, when you look at Black,
He looks like Steph Curry, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. He does not look Arab at all.
but you don't go like, oh, he's black.
I do.
Yeah, I guess you do.
I'd be like, well, yeah, he's mixed, but he's for sure black. Like, there's some black
so,
in
like,
there.
when he would hear something, he would play it off. Like he would go over the top. It was like, "What you mean, you motherfucker?" You know,
Right.
Do I look like? He would say some shit first of all that I've never heard before,
That's some Montana
and
shit.
I didn't know it was offensive.
Oh,
Yeah. So like, it was like maybe I could have made that same joke and not knowing that it was really fucking offensive.
why is that? Why is that if a person has and this kind of goes back to tie it really full circle to the Black American music thing. If a person has a tiny bit of black, why are they identified as black?
Because they want to hate it.
Again, it works to the convenience to the person because like when someone makes Asian jokes, I get pissed. When someone makes Mexican jokes, I get pissed. Again, depending on the setting and who I'm around, you know, like
so it's all context.
It's all context, yeah.
So in the context of America,
so if I make a Mexican joke, you get offended or you don't get offended?
No, because first of all, I know you mean no harm by it,
right? And that brings me back to what I was saying is that you can make these. When I was telling that story about Gabriel being Brazilian but white,
yeah,
I said you can make that joke if you're white. You can make that joke if they're friends with you. But in this country, if you're white and they don't know you and you make that joke, you automatically
look over both shoulders.
Yeah, automatically you're fucking racist, bro. I can make that shit because we know each other. He knows that my mom's fucking Mexican as fuck. Yeah. So he's like, whatever.
And first of all, like most of these jokes are never really malicious in intent.
Bro, she's from fucking Valparaiso, Zacatecas. Dude. She's fucking Mexican.
People need to fucking lighten the fuck up.
It's this climate that we're in.
So bringing it back around. Don't quit Instagram, bro. I like that.
No, quit Facebook. Quit Facebook.
If we're gonna learn anything today,
quit Facebook.
Right, quit Facebook, not Instagram.
I quit Facebook years ago, and it's the best thing of my life, dude.
Yeah, but you substitute with Reddit.
Actually,
it's different. It's the community.
The problem is opposite for me. It's Instagram being such a highlight reel and such watch
their stories. I know you watch my stories.
No. I do watch your stories, but. No, dude, it's a highlight reel of all these musicians. In my case, it could be chefs. It could be chefs. Like when I was going to culinary school, I started following all these fucking chefs, and it was like the same thing.
How many people you follow? I'm gonna look it up right now. I'll look it up right now.
I don't follow very many, but
that's a good thing. That's a good thing. I wouldn't.
You guys are involved in the community so much to where you are known as a musician and people that.
That's what I follow right now.
Yeah. people that may look up to you or something, like if you don't,
That's what I follow.
if you don't comply with the times,
San Diego, California, right now, by the way.
If you don't comply with the times, like you may lose following, or and that's something that we shouldn't have to fucking worry about. Okay, I'll give you a good example about me and my experience. Okay,
when follow a lot of people, bro.
I honestly had no idea I was following that many.
So
that's a lot of people.
So
man.
when the whole tragic thing happened months back with George Floyd and everything, and one day everyone started posting
what happened to George Floyd?
A black square.
Who's George Floyd? What happened?
The guy that got kneed on.
The guy that got kneed on.
Everyone posted the black square.
Yeah.
First of all, like I'm not that.
That's a nice following right there. So, that number, I mean, that's still a lot.
It was more, but because I didn't post a black square because I don't give a fuck about how I look on social media. I lost followers, dude.
Look at these beautiful men. Right
look at
here.
those.
Those are beautiful people right here. Look at this beauty.
That is a good looking group.
Yeah. Look at this guy. This homeless guy that showed up.
From
that's in London.
Okay, London.
London.
Londres.
Londres.
Yeah.
Londres.
Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah. Look at speaking of being
look at that
touch
shit.
with the roots right there.
Fucking Nahuatl right there, dude.
Yeah.
How did you guys, just really quick, London or Paris? I know your answer, but
it was my first time in Europe.
You know my answer.
Your first time in Europe.
It was my first time in Europe.
You know my answer.
Well, fucking Paris all the way,
and
bro.
we performed in London too.
We did perform in
That's
Londres.
right, dude. That's fucking crazy.
So that was.
I saw that, and I was like, when you guys posted that shit, I was like, these motherfuckers got a gig. At least they're gigging out there.
Bro, listen, dude, because you've recorded an album with me. I can be overly aggressive sometimes where I say, like, hey, we're going to do some shit. Because, what was it, 2 weeks before we left? I called you guys over?
Yes.
2 weeks before we left, I called these guys over. And I was like, hey, let me see one of your poems. And then he gives me, like, I don't know, a couple. And I'm like, all right, hold on 1 second. I made, like, a quick little beat. I was like, hey, read one of these poems. He fucking reads. I was like, hey. How do you feel about like hitting an open mic and just fucking doing one of these?
Sick.
And he was like, yeah, I'm down. I was like, all right, we're gonna figure it out. And we fucking did it. We landed in London, and then we made our rounds. But we basically knew a friend, and you know him too.
Steven
Gentilali. And we made a contact, and we're like, hey, shoot us some spots that you already know of.
Yeah.
You know, and he introduced it to. So our first night, or not our first night, but our first few days there, we made our rounds. We kind of made like small connections, so to speak, through him and then people we met. Then we did our thing. We went to Rome, went to Paris, then came back, and literally basically was like the night before that we left. The day of it, we came back, but like the night before we left.
Yes.
We go to that place and we fucking performed. We're like, let's do it.
Yeah.
But it was basically a 2-week inception. I was like, hey, let's fucking do it.
Yeah. And we just went with it.
Because you fucking know that's how I work, dude. I said that shit. I had to convince these motherfuckers to do the fucking album too. I was like, let's just point and shoot. Let's just go.
Yeah,
let's just go.
Let's just do it.
Let's just do it.
I'm glad we did that.
And that's what happens. And like
that was music that was like a year, 2 years old.
2 years old.
2 years old.
Easily. Maybe there was a song for sure even older than that.
I forgot to mention this in the beginning, but by the way, feel free to pitch in any shows or anything you got going up.
Yeah, plug it.
Yeah, plug it in, man.
I do actually, ironically, like have some shows coming up. I have a live taping with Whitney Shea, and that's going to be at the Carlsbad Library, and I think that's taking place on the 17th of March.
Okay.
And then on the 20th, I do have a reservations only outside gig at a winery, Orfila Winery in Escondido. And that's, I think, from 1:30.
Is that also with Whitney? Who's that with?
No, that's with Waylon Hicks and Chase Pato. Chase Pato on keys.
Chase Padu.
Yeah, Waylon on sax. And that's such a dope gig. I guess the taping you guys can't come to, but if you're going to come to a gig, come to Orfila Winery on Saturday the 20th from 1:30 to 4. There's 2 sets. Make a reservation, and we'll see you there. Honestly, that's such a cool gig, just really quick, because it's only keys. Chase Pato on keys, taking care of the low end on bass, and the harmony.
And then Waylon on sax.
And then myself. And I kind of like really enjoy that gig because it is kind of open to interpretation all the time. It's like we never play the music the same way twice. So
that's cool.
Chase goes crazy.
Chase is a motherfucker, but
yeah,
that doesn't take away from you either, baby.
I don't even shit.
but Chase
I don't even play anymore.
I honestly like if I had my dream gig, like if I had to put a band together, I would get Chase and this motherfucker on the same gig, dual
That'd
keyboards.
Be weird.
It wouldn't be weird.
Shout house.
It wouldn't, because both of you are tasteful. Both of you are tasteful enough to understand that you would need to work together.
Gotcha. Yeah, get another fucking drink.
Get another drink, man. I am officially going to break the seal, I think.
Yeah. Break it. I was going to wrap this up soon.
Oh, yeah.
I was actually going to wrap it up like...
If you want to wrap it, let's wrap it. But I have to break the seal.
Break it. Let's wrap it because honestly, straight up.
How far are we in?
We're about over 3 hours. We're almost like 4 hours in straight up, I would say.
Wait.
This is at 120, dude.
We've been at a good steady...
Wait, that's 4 hours and 49 minutes?
No. We're looking at like 3 hours, 49 minutes probably.
Oh, shit, bro.
Yeah.
That's long as fuck. Yeah, let's wrap it
Don't
up.
even feel like it, right?
We've been going.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Dude, time fucking flies when we do this shit.
Dude, that's a lot of material for you.
To fucking have to listen to again.
Well, the thing is, I know. Because that's the thing. When I do it in post, I listen.
Well, just cut out all that BAM shit. All that black.
Hell no, that shit's
I don't know about that shit, man.
That shit
I'm
is
scared
fucking
about that.
staying
I'm
in,
scared
bro. That's
about
the
that,
best
dude.
part about all of this.
It has to be talked about, but it comes off so racist.
It's like I told you
like I said,
about
dude,
my Instagram following. It dropped because I didn't post a square, dude. Like it's
Listen,
like
dude.
people are gonna hate it. People
you
are
don't
gonna
want
like
those
it.
people. You don't want those fucking people, dude. You don't want those people.
Yeah.
You don't want those people. I'll show you some. Because like I said, this is episode 10. Mm-hmm. I'm glad that you're on this episode because so this plan for this, just to wrap this all up.
Yeah.
When we started this, it's me, Diego, and Oliver, and it was it all stems from years ago of us hanging and obviously going on our little trips too, and they were always open ended. We've invited you.
Yeah, of course.
They were always open because we thought it was always fun. It'd be fun to document all this shit. And what we said was like, dude, let's just fucking turn this into a podcast. Yeah. So we finally did it. And it's no holds barred, dude. It's like, hey, if you don't want this out there, let me know because I'll fucking bleep it. However, this is just, we're gonna let it run. We're gonna let it run, see what happens, and it's a great log. We don't have any followers, but there's also a reason for that because that's gets me to what my point was that I wanted to get a solid 10 episodes in because I wanted to work out the kinks, whether it was audio, visual, both, lighting,
right.
Getting a proper flow.
A flow going, yeah.
Getting a proper flow, that's incredible. Getting a proper flow, and I feel like a solid 10 under the belt was gonna do that. And I feel like we finally hit it. Yeah.
Okay. That's dope.
There has been a lot of progress in this
significantly. And if you find like you have some downtime, just throw it on, fucking have it in the background, and you'll actually notice the progress. And then also this gives us enough material to cut up some
for clips.
Some clips to market and promote. So now that this is episode 10, boom, we're going to start fucking promoting.
Well, do it, man. Go for it.
Morning Derinkers. And like I said, it's great bringing it back around because like I said.
Derinkers.
Yeah, Derinkers. If you think about it, like that's how we say that's how it should be said.
Derinkers.
Drinkers. What is it? A J? J-R-I?
Drinkers.
Yeah.
Drinkers.
So this bringing it back around. I mean, dude, this was the dude I wanted to do the podcast with first.
Yeah.
This was the motherfucker I sought to do the podcast first.
I mean, I'm down, dude. Anytime.
Yeah.
Let me know.
But yeah, like I said, we do this once a week. If you find you have a free Sunday, I'm always here. Cruise it. I'm going to get Nick Costa back on.
We're going to do a St. Patrick's Day special.
Oh, that's right. We couldn't do it today unless you want to do it.
That's coming
soon
up.
In a couple. That's literally next week. We're going to do the St. Patty's episode. So these basically they get posted Tuesday afternoon, Tuesday evening. Wednesdays usually it's completely up.
Right.
But since St. Patty's is next Wednesday, So next weekend, we're going to do St. Patty's theme. We're going to we're going to decorate this motherfucker. So if you want to come back, drop on by for
Dude, I think I'll come back.
Yeah,
man.
it's going to be a lot of fun.
You have 4 inputs.
I have 4 inputs. I also have another interface. We could have a total of 6 inputs. If you
I'll
want.
bring my mic. I'll bring all my shit.
Yeah, I'll hit up Nick and see if he wants to join us.
Fuck yeah.
Dude, because Nick's,
party.
it'll be fun. It'll be a lot of fun, dude. I'll fucking show you, dude.
I mean, even though it's St. Patrick's, you should have an Irish motherfucker on, but that's okay.
Yeah, I mean,
We're Irish at heart. Like I said, I'll be whatever you want me to be.
You could bring your girl if you want.
Wait.
Kelly?
She is Irish.
I forget who. I think it's Paul Rodriguez that makes the joke of like Latinos come in all shapes, colors, and sizes. That's like
Canelo.
That's like we celebrate we'll celebrate any holiday.
Yeah.
It's like Cinco de Mayo, yeah, I'm Mexican.
Yeah.
Like
fuck
St.
it.
Patrick's Day, I get drunk. It's like Black History Month, I fuck white chicks. It's like we all
That's
celebrate it, dude.
That's great.
Paul Rodriguez.
That's old school fucking
Yeah.
Latino kings of comedy right there,
Yeah,
dude.
that's where it's from. That's where it's from.
Absolutely.
Well, on that note,
Dude, let's wrap it up.
I think, episode 10 was a
Episode
success.
10.
Success.
Here's to 40 more.
Here, let me get
Salud.
one. Wait, let me get. I don't have any more.
Get set up right here. I got
Let's
a
set
little,
this up.
I got
Let's,
a little sip here.
a little bit of the sacrament.
Oh shit.
Boom. Let's do it. Just a
you
little,
go.
just a little taste.
Let's see what it tastes like.
Daylight. All right.
All right,
Cheers,
guys.
gentlemen.
Cheers.
That was a blast.
Pleasure.
We'll do it again soon.
All right. Episode 10.